see you. Let me get my camera set up.
Mhm.
Hold on. Let me get this better. Hmm. First time doing this.
Yeah,
Okay.
on your birthday.
On my
Happy birthday.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Ken.
Thank you. I think this automatically records, so I think we're good.
Yes, it does. It does. You can just save it later.
Yeah. Oh, so it's new.
What's new? Yeah, good question. The new episode is live.
All
Our
right.
podcast episode with Saint Finnegan.
Yes, with Finn.
Yes, it's online since few minutes because
Awesome.
the export took me so long. It broke all the time. But yeah, now it's there. It's there and it's awesome.
Hmm. Awesome. See, I think this is probably better. See, I think this going TikTok live thing,
Mhm.
I really like this idea because it automatically saves to the phone. You can edit it from the phone in CapCut. CapCut is super easy with the exports.
Yes.
People can just like jump in. You got the live chat.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think this is the way to go.
Yeah, that's super good. I never trusted CapCut or it kind of didn't work for me, but since I saw how you worked with it, I started using it also and now it's good. I really like the subtitles.
Oh, that's right. It automatically subtitles. Did you
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah. I mean, TikTok does it too, but it's buggy somehow, so I think CapCut is better.
Mm. I need a ring light. That'll be my next thing. Are you
Oh yeah.
using are you using one?
No, I'm using another lamp. I'm using a ring light, but it's off because it's broken, so it's just there to hold my phone. But the
Mm.
lamp that you see is just a normal computer table lamp. I also have a ring light, but I didn't build it up yet, like a
Mm.
good one. I mean,
Mm.
nothing broken.
Mm.
But since I was sleeping until 7 p.m., I didn't have time to build it.
You're sleeping until 7 p.m.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're done. Your sleep schedule is wrecked.
I know. I know.
Chat, do you have any tips on how to get Anna's sleep schedule back?
Please.
She's jet lagged.
Yeah, she wakes up at 7 p.m. in the evening, living like a vampire.
Yeah. She had New Year's, which probably didn't help.
Yeah, it didn't. But it also didn't make it worse. It was already.
Mm. Didn't make
Yeah,
it worse.
it was already bad. I think it didn't change too much.
Okay. Yeah, because she was visiting me in the United States.
Yes. And on the way back, or even before, I just completely changed my schedule, my rhythm, and since then, I'm not living here. I'm simply sleeping here, back in Germany.
Yeah. What do you think of the United States?
I like it. So in the beginning, I thought it's pretty much like Germany.
Hmm.
Are very similar. I mean, not just the weather, but also the people, the vibe somehow. But I thought it's very similar. So I thought, will I like it if I already don't like Germany so much? But then when I came back here, I've realized that I like it more because I feel like the um, something is more depressing here. I don't know what it is. I think it's the mood, the common mood somehow. Like people are a bit more stressed. That's super strange.
Mm,
It's strict, like very strict everything. So
really?
not my mojo somehow. So yeah, I think I liked it better because people in general are friendlier even if they don't know you.
Yeah, well, that's the meme about Germany, that it's not friendly. But that's the meme about Seattle too. We have the Seattle freeze.
Yeah, you see, I don't
Mm.
see a difference. So I think it was a bit better in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really, I mean, I didn't really talk to too many people in Germany though, to be fair. but just
Yeah.
walking around. If people didn't open their mouths, you know, and
Yeah.
uh, and start speaking German, I would have figured you could have dropped me off in, Tacoma. Should we
Yeah. Yeah.
invite some people? Should we just try it and see what happens?
To do what?
Should we try and invite some people? Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Sure.
True by Science. Should we go with you? Let's try it.
Yeah. Randomly.
Okay. True by Science, feel free to join in. This is just an experiment. We're just like we usually do these through Zoom, but we're like, let's do it through TikTok Live.
Yeah. Just see what happens because, yeah, we cannot cut
Because
anything.
because life is all about community.
Yes. And authenticity. And I can't just take things back. So if I say something stupid, I said it forever.
Now you're gonna scare him off, Anna. What if I say something? What if I say something stupid? And Anna said I can't take it back.
Oh shit, sorry. No, I just meant I cannot take it back. You are always free to do that.
Yeah, you can take it back.
Yeah,
We're not going to judge you. This is a safe space.
yeah. Come in. Yeah, because I also um shared the info to the event on my Discord, on the Insanity
Mm.
Discord, and one of the girls wrote that she's kind of scared, so I didn't answer yet.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah, jump in, as you said, jump in, the water's fine.
Jump in. The water is fine, for sure. Oh,
Oh, interesting. I'm
Roastmaster talk.
I'm not sure.
He'll join. Roastmaster will join.
Yay!
Roastmaster will join anything.
What's up, my
Ta-da!
guy? What's up?
How
How's it
are
going?
you?
This is my
Nice to meet
fiance, Anna.
Good to see you. Very good to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, Roastmaster talk knows everybody. So last time when I did the chat, or when I did this thing, people were just popping up, people who follow me, and they're all like, and Roastmaster knew them all by name. These people who follow me. He's like, I
What?
know everybody.
Oh, that's awesome. A very active community member.
You believe it? That's it.
Cool. Where are you from?
New York, but I'm living in North Carolina.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you
Very
doing there, Talk?
Right now, just hanging out, man. I was gonna make a couple more videos. I got some peeps asking me about some stuff, so I figured I'd just make some reply videos instead of just messages.
cool. What kind of content are you doing?
Right now, when I get back inside, it's gonna be some like Pokemon content, but I do a lot of humor, like learning, everything, art, music. I'm all over the board. I know everybody's like, pick a niche, and I'm like, nah, no.
No.
TikTok's like, hey, you're gonna really want to settle one of these, and we'll push you a lot more. I'm like, nah, I don't care. I'll do my
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, for
I
sure,
was
man.
I was wondering if you guys were doing like a separate live, like where she was live streaming and you were live streaming, or if this was like a guest box kind of situation.
Second one. I jumped into that one, into the existing
Yeah.
live already.
Yeah, there's a couple differences. Like if you were to go live, you would have your own little like you can't see his chat and he can't see yours. I know if you look down, you can see all the chat coming in for everybody. So that's kind of like something to keep track of if you're doing separately, because one person will ask something that might apply to everybody, and
Mm.
it's like, well, you can just click over there and ask him. They
Yeah.
made it really easy so people can kind of bounce between chats and
Cool.
and
Yeah, good to know.
communicate. How's everybody's day? What are you guys getting into? Just tests, taking over the world?
That's right. Oh, and I told Roastmaster about our plan to take over the world.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But shh.
No, see, I don't think there should be any shame about this. I've been
Okay.
thinking about it, okay? Now,
Hmm.
usually people would be like, no, you can't say you want to take over the world. Can't talk about it. It's like sounds sinister. Why does it sound sinister? People need to take over. Like every year, a generation passes away. Who's going to take their place? people need to take their place. People need to take over. I was thinking maybe the reason why the world is in the mess it's in is because nobody wants to take over. So
Yeah,
I
no
say we want to
responsibility.
take over. We want to be the doctors, the politicians, the engineers, the scientists, the president of the United States. We want to take over the world.
As long as I'm not Pinky in that scenario, I'm fine.
That's what that's what Roastmaster said in his comments. Yeah,
Same thing we do every night.
that's
Yeah.
right.
No, that's very true. Actually, you're right. Maybe it's time to talk about it. Yes.
Big steps in 2024. You know it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the world's not that big, right? So,
No. Have you seen it from space? It's like this big.
yeah,
It's
easy.
tiny. World's teeny.
See.
It's easy. You could hold it in your palm. You put
Yeah,
it in a
but
marble bag with a bunch of other worlds too.
yeah, sure. I mean, let's bring cool people together, everyone who's interested in world takeover, and we just do it together.
Right.
All right, everybody who's got this same vibe, let's go. Here's the line. Get in line. We're moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, could we really do could we really do much worse than the people who currently
No.
control the world? I don't think so. I don't know.
No, at least we are happy people. I always say don't trust people who are unhappy because they don't know the way.
Exactly. Don't trust pessimists.
Yeah.
Optimists only.
Yeah, sure. I mean, why would I take advice from people who are not happy themselves or who have a negative perspective on everything? I don't want to go there, so I just take advice from people who are where I want to be.
Exactly. Like Peterson, Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, he's crying the whole time.
I
Like,
know, right? I know. He's like, well, I'm back at. How does his voice go? He sounds like Kermit the Frog. So if I just do a Kermit the Frog imitation. Oh, who said sub Optimus? Love Your Fate. I'm pretty sure Love Your Fate has been on before.
Hey.
I think that was like a year ago. Jordan Peterson's like, well, I'm back in therapy. He goes to therapy. He like doesn't just go to therapy. He's like hospitalized. No, no
Great.
offense. No offense to people who to have that
No.
happen. But at the same
Work on
time, he's like,
yourself.
listen to me. Listen to me. I know the way. I just got out of hospitalization for anxiety disorder. It's like, dude, maybe we shouldn't listen to you, Jordan.
Yeah. Go have
Maybe,
some tea. Yeah, just
yeah,
enjoy the resort. Stay a couple extra weeks. You need it.
yeah, yeah.
You really sound like you need it, buddy. I'd say I hope you're doing good, but I'd seen your last couple videos. Like,
I know. Has
Just
anyone
breathe.
has anyone said more without saying nothing at all than Dr. Peterson?
I mean, there are some things that I agree with, or I think, oh yeah, makes sense, but it's nothing, nothing mind blowing, just common sense things that are just true, and some
Yeah,
things that I don't understand what he's saying because he's crying, so I don't know. But
yeah. He's crying about how you need to make your bed.
nobody likes to do that, so I get it. I get
You need to make your bed.
it.
Do it. Make your bed.
that's
You're a
funny.
lobster. Am I being a hater?
No,
Okay.
I mean, really, some of the things are fine, totally fine. Some aren't, but it's like with everyone. It's like there's just people on the internet who are super hyped sometimes, and I'm wondering why. Because everyone will tell you one thing that is okay and probably another one that isn't, so no need to glorify it. But it's not like I'm watching all of its videos and I think, yeah, agree, like thank you for that, like not at all. And
Right.
with most people it is like that, so I'm just scrolling it away. But yeah, my like personally my TikTok is simply educational, so I'm not following too much, just for fun.
Yeah. If I had to take advice from somebody, it'd be Disco Jesus.
Who's that?
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Present company. Yeah, I love this filter. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the good ones for me. I got it on my faves list. It's like my in live stream cognito mode.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm reading through the chat here. Let's see.
I see a lot of Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone.
Marlon Lee, Happy New Year.
But yeah, I saw you was live. I figured I would just try and pop in and catch what you were saying. I appreciate the invite, and I'm always happy to, stop in and chit chat, my bro and sis. Nice to see you. Nice to see you again, man.
Yeah,
All
for
right, I
sure.
guess it's a peace out. All right, Disco Jesus.
I'll take care. Take care, man.
Thanks
You
for
too.
stopping by. See you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and good to know with the chats. I never paid attention to how the live chats really work, or if I do a separate one. But yeah, good to know that there's a difference.
Yeah. Sounded like we did it the right way though.
Yeah. Because now we see both of us see everything. Hey.
Yeah. Taking over the world one step at a time.
Yes. So maybe that's the title of today's live.
I already changed it. I already had it set to life, the universe, and everything.
Okay, but it doesn't exclude it. So it's like
No. This will be the subject. We are taking over the world.
Yeah,
Who's
and we need,
love your fate.
yeah, because we need cool people to do that. So everyone who feels drawn to that topic should probably join and give us some input, or probably just yeah, some nice ideas how to take over the world.
Anyone who feels drawn to taking over the world, reach out to us. We're taking applications now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think it needs to be said that way. World takeover, not world domination. We don't want to dominate the world.
No. We want to take over, because
Yeah.
domination is a weakness. So if you really feel powerful, you don't need to dominate, actually. So therefore, we don't need this. Shit is outdated. We just want to take over.
Yeah, that's it. It's just we just want to take over.
Yeah.
It's not that
It's not
we don't want to dominate you. We don't want minions. We don't want to be your overlords.
No, that's so exhausting. Who wants that? I think
Who
even
wants
people
that?
who are in that kind of position, they cannot enjoy it, because, I mean, you need to be a sociopath to say that's what I want to do. No, you want to paint, you want to create, you want to sing, you want to express it. That's what you want to do. You don't want to dominate. Like, you show me a person who's born like that.
Yes, totally. Sociopathic. Like, I don't want to be in charge of people.
No. I mean, it would actually be already like the top of the top if people are in charge of themselves, because nobody feels like doing it already. So if you cannot be in charge of yourself, you can't be in charge of another. So better starting here,
Right.
probably.
Exactly. I think it might just be you and me. How do I see all the viewers?
Yeah, or maybe just later. Maybe people need to warm up a bit.
Fire Needle. We're just sending random invites out, Fire Needle. I don't know. We're just seeing where it goes. Feel free to join us. We're talking about how we're going to take over the world. Nothing big.
Just as big as the world itself.
Life, the universe, and everything.
Yeah, tiny little universe.
Yeah. Earth is small. It can
Yeah.
fit in the palm of your hand.
Oh, see, it appears that people are popping in and out. Yeah, but I think that's normal, isn't it?
Yeah. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
In my last lives, it was pretty similar. You always had like few people, sometimes some. Maybe it's also the time zone for you, because you're in US, it's noon. Maybe I have to man up and to be available at another time of the day.
Who wants to go live with us?
Yeah.
We need new friends. Join us.
Yeah.
We're nice. We don't bite that much.
We give you 2 minutes of free speech.
Uh-oh, that could be dangerous. Okay. And as we know about Anna, what she says is
The sun and the moon.
yes, she is the law. Anna
It was other way around, but I allow it. No, what I say is law because I'm the sun and the moon. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you should stop.
I think you got that from Prince of Egypt, I
Yes,
think.
just wanted to say, you should stop showing me that kind of movies, that kind of inspiration.
It was hilarious because we watched The Prince of Egypt that night,
Yeah.
and then later in the where Pharaoh's like, I am the day and the evening star. What I say is law. And then later in the evening, we're cooking together, and I'm like, Anna, I think you're putting too much sour cream. And she's like, I am the sun and the moon, and what I say is law. It was perfect.
Yeah, I have a new inspiration.
That movie was so. What did you think of that movie?
It is, well, pretty much the story. So it is what you would expect from the story. And I didn't think about it for a long time already. So it was a lot of remembering when I watched it. But yeah, it was pretty much what you learn about it. So yeah, the movie is made like really professionally. I really like the style.
Yeah, something about it. I just love it. Prince of Egypt. I think it's so good. I'm just like, this is really good. I'm not even religious.
Yeah. Yeah, like for me, it was a bit unexpected how it was because still it's like a cartoon movie, and for a cartoon movie, it was really dark because it showed everything. Like
Right?
there was killing in this movie
Wait,
and going on.
wait, Anna. Unaliving. Don't you know the rules?
Uh-uh.
You can't say the K word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron? Okay.
Skull emoji-ing.
Okay, so there was a lot of going on, and
Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't expect that because it's still a cartoon and it's not Happy Tree Friends. Can I say that? So yeah, it was not that that.
I think I need to watch Happy Tree Friends because it keeps
Yeah,
on coming up.
yeah, they look pretty much like me.
Yeah. With your so cute. So cute. We need another guest.
Oh, awesome. So we can say this word. Roastmaster TikTok says all good now.
Oh no, because you went. We can say
Okay.
that one.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Egyptian mythologies. That'd be cool. Like a movie about Egyptian mythologies.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ra, Anubis.
Yeah, just don't let me rate movies. Doesn't turn out well.
Right, movies?
Yeah, like movie ratings describe what happened in the movie, like I tried to
The
explain
Whale?
to you.
No, I thought it was great. Anna, give us your review of The Whale with Brendan Fraser.
No?
Yeah.
But it's spoiler. So whoever doesn't want to hear it because they want to watch it, just don't listen. Just close your ears for a minute. Okay, so my review was
Remember, you can't say the word, remember? At the end, because I think you're gonna say it. Yeah,
Oh,
like
that's annoying.
TikTok is like enforced happiness. You will be happy. I could be wrong.
And that's the problem because we don't talk about it, we alienate it, and then we don't have a healthy relationship with it. It's bad.
It's
Anyway,
true. So they need to just let us talk. But
yes.
okay, what's the review?
Yeah, it's Brendan Fraser eating and being fat, and then he.
It's an outstanding review. Yeah.
I wish I could say the word, but yeah, but it's that.
It's part of life. Well, just let us talk about it. They don't let us talk about anything anymore.
Exactly. Apart, 10, thanks. Yeah. Apart from that, I would say it doesn't even exist because we already, I think our second interview, Gary, when we were talking about the definition of life, we used to say we believe that everything is always alive, means that our so-called opposite doesn't even exist.
Hmm. I guess who might pop up? Guess who might pop up? Hey, Vibe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're
Yeah. Yeah.
inviting lots of people. Anyone who wants to join in can join in.
Yeah. And recommend the whale to your friends.
Yeah, the whale. Vibe, Oh, no worries. You are going. Your views have doubled. I noticed. I checked it out recently. I was checking out your views. You're getting double the engagement of like a month ago or 2 months ago. I'm really happy for you. Like you're doing something right. And you got the 700K recently. I went and checked. I was curious because I'm working on the level, and I don't know. I went and checked your videos and stuff. And I was checking out the views. Anyway, you're sick. I hope you feel better. Was it
Get
a rough
well.
New Year's? Maybe a rough New Year's. I don't know, but I hope you feel better.
Yes, get well soon. But you can also talk to us in the comments if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I also said on Discord. I said just join through the comments. That's we don't force anyone on cam.
Mm-mm. So the
Yeah,
whale, I don't know if I can watch it. I don't know. Based
yeah.
on that review, Anna, I don't know. Like, you haven't really sold me on it.
I didn't.
I don't think so.
Wait, okay. Once again, Brandon Fraser eats a lot, is very fat, and then I hate that I cannot say it. That's so terrible.
Yeah. The things that we're allowed to say, it feels like they pull it back a little bit more. I was thinking with this, like, what can we talk about? I mean, we're talking right now, but it's like you can't talk about health stuff. They'll be like, you're not a licensed professional. You can't talk about,
Really?
yeah. But
But
isn't it
that,
the most important things, health, like finances, like what the law actually is? These
wait a
things,
second.
yeah.
Could I talk about my personal experience with my own health? Because I'm an Anna expert.
Yeah, you'd think so, but then during, the year that shall not be named a few years ago, they were like people from the internet for just talking about their own personal experience. Exactly, they keep us dumb. That's exactly right. I don't like it either.
Yeah, but I don't understand for what purpose. Is it just for preventing the like false information on the internet, or what is the idea?
I feel like conspiracy theory Gary is gonna,
Oh,
and
no.
I know how you feel about conspiracy theory Gary.
Yeah, I'm just wondering in that case because kind of doesn't make sense because there are just normal words that we were just talking about. And like, for
Right.
example, say talking about the opposite of life, or that's so annoying. Anyways, in a philosophical context, for example, when we say it doesn't exist because of, and you couldn't even say it because it will be restricted. But I cannot imagine that. But are there not like documentaries or something that would
Right.
make the word?
Yeah. This could all be in my head because I do. By the way, Money Hustle Respect, I sent you a chat invite. We're just talking about life, the universe, and everything. You could just pop in and give us your expertise. We could use an expert on money hustling and respect. We could. We all could.
Yeah.
Oh, but I followed this guy, and I don't know what he's doing as a social experiment, but because he used to be like, "Yay, Biden! I voted for Biden. Like I'm progressive." But then he's getting like more and more and more like into deep, deep like right wing. And he says the wildest stuff. And I almost sent him a message yesterday like, I don't agree with a lot of what you say, bud, but thank you for proving to me that you can say pretty much anything on this platform. Because he says
Oh,
wild
awesome.
stuff, like the
Yeah.
wildest stuff about the conflicts going on around the world, like the hottest possible takes.
Interesting that he could do that. Yes. So means
Yeah.
probably it's not that restricted as you
Hopefully
thought.
not.
Yeah. Yeah, because yeah, Key said it could be fear, but doesn't make sense. Yeah, it really doesn't make sense. I mean, maybe it really is that the platform just bans certain words so people cannot spread
Oh,
hate
that's a
speech or
great
whatever.
example because Key was I can't even I don't know if I can even say the B word. Key was blocked from doing lives. I remember. I'm pretty sure Key was blocked from doing lives, and it was like for no reason. I could be conflating her with somebody else. I'm pretty sure Key, weren't you blocked from doing lives? Yeah, for a brief moment, and it was like for no reason, right? See, that's what I'm worried about because
But what did okay, it would be a dumb question probably to ask what did you say and then we all get blocked
if
afterwards.
I remember correctly, she didn't say anything, and you know her, she's a good person, and she would never say anything that's like oh you take her voice away. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, false, and yeah, and now she's got people trying to um, make like fake pages about her. I saw that. Hopefully that got taken down.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah,
anyone
not
does anyone try to
yeah.
make a fake page of you, Anna?
Of me, I don't know. I don't think so. My accounts are too small. But another friend of mine, like who was on Insanity as well, MJ, you remember?
Yeah.
And one of her accounts or her TikTok, her main TikTok account with at that time, I don't know, many followers got hacked, and she lost it, and she had to restart because she didn't get it back, and she had to restart. But then she made a
Wow.
bigger one within 2 months.
Well, that's
And
good.
yeah.
That's really good. Imagine somebody like Bentelect, who you've Anna's podcast with Bentelect, who has over how many views does he have? He has, I think, over 1 billion on YouTube. And then we checked his analytics. Remember we were doing that analytics report yesterday on just
Oh yeah.
and he's got over 1 billion likes, which means his views are probably like 10, 15 billion.
Yeah, but
That's
it cannot be just mine. No, I'm joking. No, but
no, right.
yeah, but it's, I mean, really fun content, so it has many people, I think, who enjoy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, would be a mess. But I think even Ben has multiple accounts now for different things.
Yeah. Because it's scary. Like I was thinking about it yesterday. I would be like losing my account would be scary. It's like where I talk to all these people. I've like got friends here.
Ooh, yeah, it just makes me think because I started watching the new Black Mirror season.
Mhm.
I didn't want to, but I did now. Yeah. And the first episode is John is awful. And it's about pretty much a woman who loses her identity. Yeah. Well, due to a show. So not so much social media, it's more a show.
Is this
But
the one with Selma Hayek?
yes.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
No, but I'm a nerd. Well, you know, you told me last night. You were like Selma Hayek's in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was half awake. Yes, I told you to.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, watch it because I really thought it would be a really bad season. I'm still convinced that it is a bad season, by the way,
Yes,
because I
no
started
idea. I
episode
told
two and
Anna.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. But the one with Selma Hayek, I think it is really nice. Yeah, and it's about people losing their identity because of modern technology somehow, and it's totally possible. It's what you said. You could lose your account, and probably someone else would speak instead of you, and this is what's happening in this episode, that someone else, yeah, is kind of stealing your identity, and it must be so weird to see someone else acting like you, being you, or representing you, more or less. Yeah.
That'd be really weird. Yeah. I think we will eventually reach a point where your social media connections will be worth more than money.
Interesting take, probably.
I was thinking a term for it. clout economy.
But you mean
Not something
connections
else.
like people that
Connection
you,
economy. Connection economy.
what does it mean, contacts or?
Well, just I think that as this singularity, as these robots and stuff, this is going to be the year of robots. I can feel it. Robot, like in the same way that 2023 was the year of Chat GPT and AI and stuff, 2024 will be the year of robots. We're going to see robots and it's going to blow people's minds, like things that we didn't even think were possible. And as the price of things starts dropping and dropping and dropping, I think we're gonna see massive deflation in cost as robotics, automation makes everything cheaper, faster, more efficient. So if everyone has money, if everybody can eat, has shelter, and everyone shelter should be a human right, and food should be a human right, and all these things. What really matters? What really matters is, what do you think? If you have
Know where
every,
you're going.
well, no, I'm curious what you think.
What really matters besides shelter?
Imagine you have food, shelter, electricity. You can go anywhere you want because there's these self-driving cars and things,
Okay, then
and
I know where you are going, of course, because technology will not replace the magic words human connection.
that's right.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Human connection economy. I really think this is it.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
so, yeah. So in this future world, or even maybe the present world, human connection and time will always be the ultimate currency, but human connection will be a currency. Yeah, do
Um, I thought attention. I'm not sure if it's connection. I mean, attention for sure is already a currency because this is how social media validates itself. It's through the attention of people, and if you watch for more than what you said last night, 3 seconds, then your content gets pushed and so on. So it definitely already must be attention.
Mhm.
If human connection itself can become a currency, I don't know. I mean, it's totally possible because since we privatize water, and probably we will even do it with air. So maybe we'll also do it with human.
That's scary.
That's really scary.
That
Maybe,
would be an interesting dark Black Mirror episode.
yeah, I mean, if even water belongs to companies, but I mean, not
Mhm.
entirely, and probably it will also be completely,
Water's almost free though. It's
yeah.
like, for all intents and purposes. Yeah, it
Yeah,
costs money in certain situations, but
no, but I mean, a few years ago, I think it was Nestle who tried to privatize water and to get rights for, I don't know if all around, I don't think all around the world, but they basically tried to own water. There was like a big deal, it was a big deal all over the internet. But it doesn't look like it's gonna happen, but it would be super interesting to see what happens if people start doing it with air, for example, or with human connection, because these are things that you cannot avoid. Like you are automatically breathing, you always need to drink, and you are always automatically connected. So even if you are thinking you are disconnected, even if you believe you are disconnected, you are never disconnected. Even if you are home alone forever and ever and ever, you're still connected, because just the fact that you are alive, that somebody gave birth to you, or that you are wearing clothes that other people were producing, or that you're a mix of cells that goes back to a huge family line, already means that you are connected. You can do
sure.
what you
Well,
want
sure.
forever.
Yeah, you can't lose it. You know, you're always going to, especially we're, as we like to talk about, we are a fractal of the universe. We're just a sliver of this interconnected universe, and nothing can take that away from us.
Oh.
But at the same time, do you remember? I want to hear what your thoughts are. Okay. What was the scariest part when you were visiting, other than all of it? But the scariest part when you
When
were
I
visiting?
when I visited you,
Yes.
when we went to the mall,
That's it. Right. But why?
it's a personal thing. Like for me, it's too
Okay.
chaotic.
Okay.
For me, it's simply too chaotic, and I think many people like to connect physically, so they need other people around. For me, it
Yeah.
can be very stressful. So if I don't choose the people that I am around with, then it's just probably too much information because, um,
Interesting. Too much connection, maybe.
yeah, maybe too much. Yeah, it's just overwhelming, and I'm very structured usually. Like
Mm.
everything's in order, and I bring everything in order. And if there's things that are just a lot, then I try to focus on everything at once. Probably, I don't know. Could be like that because it seems like an overflow of information the whole time.
But why was that the scariest? Okay, so that's from your perspective. Overstimulation. And
Yeah.
Key, we were at this mall that uh, I've only been to once before in Bellevue, and it was New Year's. And so it was like, we were like packed like sardines. It was just packed. And we were there to see the parade and stuff, um, but Anna, from my perspective, why was it so scary? Do you remember?
From your perspective, because oh, I know, yeah, because your phone had no battery.
That's right, because my phone ran out of batteries, and I was like, I don't know where we are. I don't know how to get back. Anyway,
Really,
but we
I
figured
must
it
say,
out.
for me, this fact wasn't scary at all with the phone.
Mm,
Because like when I hear stuff like that, my brain is already busy with plan D somewhere. So it already knows, okay, worst case hotel, something, or charging. I already saw the spot at Microsoft, the charging spot. So I thought already, okay, we just need a cable restaurant. You just borrow a cable from a waiter, recharging there, or we go for food and for sure they have a cable. So like there are always options. So I'm kind of really easy about that. And in worst case, yes, hotel is something. I slept in my car in Holland. I don't care. Like you will survive until tomorrow. So
good to know. Good to know.
yeah, I didn't know, but
Yeah.
when they're just
I was worried about you. I was like, I'm trying to entertain Anna. My phone's dead. But if you're like, no, just chill, then
yeah, I don't care. Actually, I feel sometimes even good when I'm not available, so my phone is off. That's super fine.
mm,
Um, yeah, no, for me it's more because well, I think I'm also guilty in this trying to control things kind of thing. And I think when there are just so many people and there are so many things happening around me, then I feel like I'm out of control somehow. Like I don't know what's happening, and it's just too much. So this is, yeah, way more trouble for me.
okay. She's my backup planner. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even planning it. I'm not doing that on purpose. It's just that I'm busy with other things, like thinking, oh, the people have to go away. I help, but in the back of my mind, I already have different scenarios, like how to solve the cable thing. So it's there. If we need it,
I
it would.
solved it though. I solved it. We went to the Samsung store and I bought a battery pack. And we saw the Cybertruck and
Yeah,
Optimus robot. Yeah. That was, what'd you think?
yeah, that was interesting. I mean, this is interesting how a robot really looks like you expect it to look like really from a movie.
Yeah, that was cool. Tesla
Yeah.
store. We got Irish guy showed up. What's up? You want to join the live? We're just inviting random people. If anyone wants to join us and just talk about life, the universe, and everything, we're
Yeah,
friendly-ish.
yeah, friendly. What is the robot actually supposed to do? The one from Tesla.
Well, I think it's supposed to do everything. So it's going to be a general purpose humanoid. And the
Yeah.
idea is they wanted to make a robot that already fits into our world. So this world is designed for human beings. Car doors, um, like refrigerators, laundry machines, knives, forks, spoons, everything is designed for us. So Elon's idea was let's make a robot that just will fit into our world. Let's give it a brain, one of these large language, it's called an LLM, large language model. Let's give it one of these brains, and these LLMs, they can actually do a lot more. It's like a general framework for doing things. We'll give it this brain, we'll let it navigate, we'll let it learn. They learn. And then we will live a life of luxury. They're going to do the laundry for us, they're going to cook the food for us.
One question, actually, you to key to everyone who's watching. Do you think it's more or less beneficial or more or less scary that a robot looks like a person? Or wouldn't it make more sense to build something that looks completely differently?
We get lazy. Yeah. Because I was thinking, for me, I think it's interesting that it looks like a human. I'd rather it look like a human than a giant cockroach. Like
It could be a completely different shape. It could look like completely artificial. Like if you think of Interstellar, for example, there's also this little robot that collects them, and that's just a wheel that's just rolling. And
that
you
was
don't,
cool.
it was cool. And I thought that's interesting because it's the first time I saw a robot like that, or not the first time. I mean, Curiosity that also doesn't look very people-ish, but I think that's interesting that you have something that you don't project a personality on, like on default.
Like the Star Wars robots keep saying, like the like C-3PO.
Yeah,
Well, C-3PO
exactly.
looks like a human. It's R2-D2 that is more like robotish. But the problem with that kind of robot is how does it navigate the world? So like a robot, like imagine R2-D2, you know, the one that whistles. Yeah, yeah. How does it navigate? It's got these stubby little legs. How does it go upstairs? See, if it's a humanoid robot, the stairs are already designed for bipedal movement. It can just walk up the stairs, walk down the stairs. It can jump in the car. It can drive your car for you.
Fly.
It can't fly unless it's got a jetpack. But you know what? I really like that robot from Interstellar, especially his sarcasm switch. So,
Well, no, I think there are possibilities to climb, or to walk or whatever, but it doesn't. You could
he
even build
flies.
it.
Oh, I see this comment. Yeah, he flies.
You could, yeah, you could build it like that on purpose, that it doesn't look like a person. And the question is, why don't we do that? Because isn't that actually strange that we try to create something that looks like us instead of making something that looks distant? Because then isn't it easier to give tasks away to something that doesn't look like you? That's what I mean. So you don't have the idea, oh, now it has to work. Now we are just, we are just being lazy, exactly. And we are just moving our own shit to another species that kind of looks like us, and it probably is also conscious, because if it looks like us, probably it thinks like us, blah, blah, blah. So wouldn't it make more sense to have something that looks differently so we don't
Yes.
think that it's similar?
Yes, it does make more sense because we are replacing ourselves. We're like, hey everybody, let's go extinct. Let's build the simuloids that look like us. They'll do all of our jobs. At least if it doesn't look like us, then it kind of creates that buffer where it's like we don't really want to get replaced, you know? Like I like cooking with you, Anna. We had fun cooking. I don't want a robot to cook with you. I want to cook with you.
Thank you. Like, no, Gary, I'm cooking with my robot now.
Yeah, right?
No, that's weird. Yeah, but that's the human connection part again. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you make something look like us, we get too attached. Exactly. And that's why I'm asking myself, what's the point? What's the point of getting attached to a robot? And well, that's the question we are asking forever. When does consciousness begin? And probably this robot is also conscious in a sense. I mean, let's say if every cell is conscious in the
No,
universe.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think they will be conscious. I don't think there's anything fundamentally, and I could be wrong, but I don't think there's anything fundamentally. I think you're going to disagree with this, and that's okay. I don't think there's anything fundamentally special about human consciousness.
I don't disagree. I mean, how do you define special in that case?
Well, I think it's just fundamentally a kind of neural net. Like people are saying these LLMs like ChatGPT, they can't be conscious. It's just a computer program. It's just predictive. I've got a book on my shelf from Ray Kurzweil and another one from Steven Pinker about how consciousness works. And these books were written 20 years ago. And they describe consciousness as just a prediction engine. We are just a massive prediction engine with trillions of transistors. We call them neurons. So how does that generate the sensation that we think of as consciousness? Well, that is quite mysterious, and it does feel like magic, but I do think that it is material. It is something that can be reproduced. And one of the biggest proofs for that is that if somebody has some kind of brain damage, there is a direct correlation between where their brain is damaged and the effect on their consciousness. So that indicates to me that consciousness is entirely an emergent phenomenon generated by the brain. So then, yeah, I think we could put that into a machine. And
I completely disagree with that one, and I think the reason why I disagree is because my interpretation of what consciousness is, or I think it's a difference in understanding or in wordings here, like terminology, because from my perspective, what you're talking about is the physical mind. It's not consciousness, because consciousness for me would be way higher than that. Like what you're talking about is a difference in mind. So yeah, you have a brain damage, then things get fixed. So then the physical mind, or let's say the personality structure, gets back to normal, or probably changes or whatever. I mean, this is something that you can physically track. Yes, because how we are behaving, you can track it on a hormonal level, or you can check brain neurons, and then you see, oh yeah, this is how this personality or the physical mind, this would be equally to me, like synonymous. You would see how is this connected to the physical structure of the brain and to the hormonal process of the body. And then you would see how it's connected. But consciousness itself is not the physical mind. And this is something that you wouldn't be able to track, because physical mind is something that is a product of physics and of the environment, of your upbringing, for example. This is why the thoughts you keep thinking also, they rewire your brain, and it affects your whole physical being and your outer experience. But your higher mind, your consciousness, is not affected by that. This for me is the witness of everything, and the witness of the thoughts, the feelings, and all the happenings. This would be the consciousness, which you cannot track, because and I always like to bring up this example, like when you change is scary throughout your whole life. Means you are Gary when you're 5 years old, you are Gary when you're 20, and you are Gary right now. You are Gary, but you are all of them are different people, and you could definitely track that within the brain structure. You could see, okay, the hormones are different, or the whole appearance is different, and your thoughts, so you are completely different personality. But how is it that you're still Gary? How is that possible? And this overall Gary would be the consciousness, actually the driver. And you would never be able to explain who that is, because, or I mean, I would be very interested if you could, but what people call it in different religions or in different cultures would be I, would be God, would be witness, would be universe, would be higher consciousness. And I've never heard of anyone or anything who would be able to track it on a physical level. The only way I would see a physical interpretation of it would be form, because I think that it translates itself into form, and that everything is an interpretation of it. So means higher consciousness. Gary wanted to translate itself in a male body, wanted to translate itself in brown hair, wanted to translate itself in that shape, but it can change. So your appearance can change, and it's because on a higher scale somehow energy manifests itself into that kind of form. And that's why I find it so interesting to just look at people or to just look at plants and just think, okay, how did this energy want to manifest itself and what does it want to say? And maybe that's why I also get too much when I'm in a mall, because just try to do that with everyone, you get nuts. So yeah.
Are you reading the comments?
Oh, yeah. He feels it too, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good speech. I do agree with you in the sense that there is some kind of, you want to call it a layer or something. I don't know, but there is, like, what is maintaining the consistency as we change through our life? Something is keeping track, like, is there some memory to the universe? And if there is there a layer of the universe that's telling a story? What do we call that? Do we call it God? Do we call it the universe? Do we call it the metaphysical? Do we call it the spirit? Do we call it the soul? And I think you are right. It defies description. I don't think we could even... Here's something interesting. I talk a lot about how Optimum College is the first to simulate the four forces of physics from one equation. And I truly believe that. It's not a gimmick. And I did it fundamentally for myself when I was still working as a public education teacher. And then it was like, wow, this is really something I should, tell more people about this. And one of the most amazing things about that equation is it can't perfectly be simulated. It's a simulation in the way that a video game is a simulation. It's pixelated, and it has an algorithm behind it. But the universe itself, I do not think it can be perfectly simulated. I think that it is something beyond all description, in the sense that only the universe itself can generate the universe. Is that magic? I mean...
Interesting.
Is that a miracle? I think you would be justified in using words like magic or miracle or metaphysical or spirit or God even, perhaps, to explain what this universe is. It is so far beyond what we will ever be capable of. I don't think we will ever reach we will forever be fractals of the Godhead, for lack of a better word. We will forever be just a sliver of the infinite. There is this infinite force of creation that will forever and always be above us, because it's also below us. It's everywhere. It's omnipresent. It's this layer of reality that is infinite at all scales. We can't create anything. We can't create. We can only rearrange energy matter. But this universe can create. It has an ability that I do not think we will ever have. I don't think we will ever have that ability. We will always be rearranging things, not actually creating.
Yeah, I agree. I highly agree. I mean, when you said that how I would explain these things that we cannot explain yet, probably, you're right. I would call it magic. But magic, I mean, I would call it magic. I would explain it as magic, but I wouldn't use magic as an excuse for not understanding it. Because magic is science undiscovered. This is always my definition. And I think we can always get closer, and we always will try to, because we are curious and we want to connect and we want to understand it with our logical mind. We will never get there. And maybe one reason is because there is always more to expand to and more to explore, because the universe is creating. Probably we don't, but the universe creates all the time, like on this higher scale. So we will never reach it. We will never catch up, but we will always try. And I think that's the idea, or that's probably also the beauty of experience, because it will never get boring, no matter how often we change shape or form, how often humanity changes completely, or if we become something else at some point. We will always try to find out. Even animals try to find out, or they're curious. They will go somewhere. They will take a look what's out there, and this is just nature. Nature tries to explore itself.
The universe has to make us uncomfortable, so we'll take action. We have to explore. I'm bored, we say. I'm bored. I'm going to go exploring. I'm uncomfortable. I have to go take a shower. Ooh, I'm hungry. I have to go get food. I don't think there will ever be a point. There's a lot of people out there, they're looking for this point where we're not uncomfortable. Everything's just pleasant. I don't think we will ever reach that point. And even if we did, I don't think we would really want it. There has to be this low level of discomfort. It's what's driving us to action. It's actually a gift.
Yes. I think so too. Yeah. For real, because seems to be like a contrast thing. So yeah, you can relax with the pleasant, and you start moving and working and figuring out with the unpleasant, and both is necessary, because we really wouldn't move that much if things wouldn't be slightly uncomfortable. That's why it's also a skill to get comfortable in the uncomfortable, not to try to escape it all the time. But I mean, there are many teachings out there who will say just everything's just love and light, and just be positive all the time. And I mean, that's the goal, because that's what we want, and that's fine. But it also means to appreciate times that are not like that, because they make us realize the better ones even more, and they make us realize what we want and who we are. And it's all a gift, all of it, both sides.
Well, that's why I like what Finn said during our podcast, where he said, "Don't run from the dark."
Yeah.
It's not all about. And he said it's not all about It's about embracing this balance, and it's a balance, light and dark, and it'll always be there.
Yes. Yeah. I really appreciate that a lot as well, because it's not running away, hiding away from parts of you. It's getting to know them. And it's fine to decide that you probably don't want them, or that you don't want the discomfort. That's okay. It's good. I mean, fine. But for that, you need to acknowledge it, and to validate it. Because if you invalidate your own negative experience, you don't give it room, you don't acknowledge it, and you push it away. And this actually is division, is pushing something away. Love is taking it as part of yourself, is acknowledging it, is accepting it, even if you don't like it.
Right. And I do think there is a problem with trying to live entirely in this level of of perfect comfort. And I think that could lead to addiction. And I think that's what happens, is people are like, well, I can never be uncomfortable. Well, great. Then you can go and take, drugs, and then you're going to live a very short life. You probably you won't be successful across generations, because you're going to be a lousy parent. And good luck to you. You're going to prune your own genetic line. Good job for some short-term comfort.
Yeah, exactly. It's striving for comfort that make us use certain substances, or just numb ourselves. And the issue with that is that you give your power away, and that you don't feel connection, because it's when you're numb that you don't feel it. But actually, when you feel a lot of pain, you feel something. So you are connected. You feel your connection to your environment so deeply. That's why you're in pain. Or you feel so much love. You feel this connection a lot. But if you're numb, then you simply don't really feel. You don't really have a sense of self. You don't feel yourself, literally. And Therefore, you live in the feeling of disconnection, although you are never disconnected, of course, but you don't have the experience. And this is a very limiting experience to just be comfortable and be comfortable so much on purpose or trying so hard by using other things.
Yeah. Yeah. The negative feelings are just as valid as the positive feelings. The negative feelings are just as much a gift from the universe as the positive feelings.
Yeah. It's the gift of contrast. Because what is also very interesting is I truly believe that we are the positive. So that's why we feel comfortable there. I mean, you feel comfortable around what is you, right? So what is closest to you or what you feel most likely like. So that I like that makes you feel this love or connection. So this is what we
Well,
are.
sure. We should search out the positive feelings.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I think this is what we are. Therefore, whatever feels uncomfortable, whatever feels painful, shows us exactly what we are not. And that's very
Right.
interesting because this is how you learn what you are not. And I
Right.
think that's awesome.
Exactly.
So you are in this situation that's super terribly painful, and you just think, why is it painful? Yeah, because it's not you. Congrats, you just learned that that is not you. Go the other way.
Yes. Exactly. And if you numb yourself to that, you'll never find out who you really are.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to join us, the conversation, we don't bite, I promise.
Too far away. No, we don't do that in Germany. We don't bite.
I'm saying invites. We can talk about anything. It's Optimum College. We talk about life, the universe, and everything to reach our optimum potential. That's the
And
theme of
take
the
over the
college.
world.
And that's right, and take over the world. Not in a sinister way. We're not comic book villains. Let's
No,
see.
we are real.
That's right. There are so many amazing people doing things in the world. I don't know. I kind of like this guy, Palmer Luckey. You were saying, oh, don't. Anyway, the guy who founded Oculus, and now he's
Mm-hmm.
like a real life Tony Stark, where he founded this company that makes drones, military drones. I think he's kind of cool, Anna. I don't know. I I would kind of want a podcast with them. It'd be kind of cool. Uh, I mean, somebody's got to do it. Like, look at Russia and Ukraine. Somebody has to create systems of defense and protection, and nobody was doing it. And he's this like 29-year-old kid. I don't think maybe they're over 30 now, but he's a kid pretty much, way younger than me. And he's like, nobody is building defense systems. Everyone wants to make games and apps and video games and be an influencer. I'm going to be a real life Tony Stark. I'm going to make military technology. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I experienced a hard split here within myself. So on the one hand, I think, yeah, sure, you have to be creative in the way that you feel like, and I think it's this person's right to do that and to explore this part of life. But it's like, and it's your right to have an interview and whatever. Like, yeah, just go for it. It's just that for me personally, it feels like I don't believe that that's not my philosophy. Let's say it like that. But it's my personal thing. It's not my philosophy because um, self-defense, from my perspective, prepares you for the worst case scenario, and that's not how I want to think.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you would all think in best case scenarios, we
Mm-hmm.
would build things that are for helping
Yeah.
each other and for improving the current instead of protecting ourselves through bombing ourselves. So I don't like the
Yeah.
mentality of worst case scenarios thinking at all.
I think this might be the split between the male and female mind, where I think maybe guys are driven to think of these worst case scenarios, and women are like, but how good could it be?
Yeah, maybe it's not so much gender as energy again, because when people talk about feminine energy, I mean, we all have both both energy directions, and at least from the spiritual worldview, people used to say that the feminine energy, which guys also have, is this receiving, relaxed, laid back, loving, connecting thing, and the other energy would be the opposite. So yeah, so this controlling, when you go in the yeah, if you pursue it in a strong way, then it would be more aggressive. But I think there are many men who would also choose connection over control and over destruction.
I don't look at it as control and destruction. I look at it as so we have walls around our house. Our house has walls around it. That's a very low tech form of protection. Now, as the world gets more and more complex, we need more complex forms of protection, and eventually you get to the point where it's like, okay, we need a wall around our entire nation, and that is what we call our defense apparatus. That's what we call our military. Our military is like the wall of the nation. So I really do look at it as something. I mean, every nation has optimized the military for a reason, I think. Because I think if they don't, they quickly are not a nation anymore. Hi, Key. She's back.
Yeah. Okay, question here. You said the world becomes more complex. How does it become more? What does make it more complex? Like its position in space, or is it us?
It seems like things become more complex. It's interesting. It seems to be how the universe operates.
The
People would
universe
say,
or the people?
hmm?
The universe or human beings?
I think the universe. I think that the universe it forms these points of complexity. Now, a lot of people would say, well, second law of thermodynamics, everything is reaching equilibrium. Hard disagree. I strongly disagree. There is more order in a single human cell than a billion years after the Big Bang. And Anna, you know me, I don't believe in the Big Bang, but we could talk about it. I think the universe is infinite and eternal. But then again, I could be totally wrong, but it just seems to me that there is this tendency towards complexity. And it's not just our technology, evolution, creatures, they just become more and more complex. Viruses, think of more complex mechanisms to infect a host. Um, there is an optimization. I could be wrong, but that's how it seems to me.
Is it just more, like more
Oh,
differences?
MJ, I would love to have MJ on.
Okay.
MJ, did you leave already? Oh, he left already because he's
Oh.
fun. I think you would have some good takes.
Mm.
Not your MJ, not your MJ.
Okay, but maybe he comes back.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, okay. My short take on that one would just be, I think everything is not that complex. I think it is pretty easy, but our interpretation is complex, or our
Oh,
mind works.
MJ,
Oh,
you want to jump in here, buddy? We haven't talked in a while. Anyway, I feel like MJ would have some really hot takes about what's going on in the world.
is he still there? Oh, yeah, he says yes.
Yeah. But we have to just try not to get us ban hammered, please. He won't. He's a good guy. How do we invite you?
I think you can ask for permission, or how did you do it the first time?
Because we've definitely gone live before. guess. Okay, okay, I see now. Accept. Nice. He was one of my first guests.
Hey,
Hey there. How are you guys?
Good.
are you good? Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. Thank you for inviting me. I'm sorry I can't turn on my camera. The light is not good here.
Oh, no worries. Are you still in, is it London?
No, I'm in Birmingham, not London. Yeah.
Okay. Where, okay. But in England?
Yeah, England.
Got it. Okay, so I wasn't totally off.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
go on
so
my time zone.
Yeah. So, what's your name? Stacy? Is that? Sorry,
Anna. Anna.
Anna. Okay. You guys married?
No,
engaged.
Oh, congratulations. I noticed that. Yeah.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah. We're just talking about, I don't know, we're inviting guests and stuff, and we have, this isn't like a super controversial channel, as you might know, Optimum.
Yeah.
So, and I really don't want to get blocked in any way, but at the same time, it's important to talk about things. And um, anyway, we're talking about whether nations need an. I was. Do you think a nation needs a national defense? We're talking about everything, life, the universe, and everything.
Wow, that's beautiful. Actually, let me say I'm not a scholar. I'm just a guy. I'm 28 years old. I grew up in Afghanistan. I research a lot of things because I was raised in a war zone.
Wow,
Uh,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
Perfect guess
it's the
then.
first thing we talked about almost a year ago.
Mhm.
yeah. I did a lot of digging in, in what is the purpose of life? Why are we here? What is happening? But it's crazy because once you get into this rabbit hole, you may sometimes get depressed. Thinking a lot. I think it's not a good idea to think a lot. I'm trying to move to USA
Mhm.
because I worked with the Americans in Afghanistan as well. I was there, helping them out, translating and all the stuff,
Mhm.
making sure that, these guys know what they're doing, just being like, a linguist. Uh,
Mhm.
uh, that's how I got, the application to apply for a visa, American visa.
Mhm.
I I actually made my TikTok private because I was posting pro-Palestinian content
I
and
think you should, if that's what you feel, you should. And you know I'm half Jewish, but if
oh,
you, we've talked about that. We talked about it during the video. And my dad's Jewish, and I've been to Israel. But if you feel like posting that, you should.
yeah, I was posting a lot of pro-Palestinian content. So because my visa is like, under consideration right now in the US embassy, so that's why I made it private because these guys will, look into my stuff. They actually asked me my social media account.
Ridiculous. They asked you about that?
Yeah, they
Oh,
do.
They asked you, did they ask you your opinion on Palestine, Israel?
No, not specifically that, but I'm sure they did get my social media handles.
oh, but mine too. When I travel to US.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
I
know,
think they do that. Yeah.
hot take, MJ. I think you should leave it public and you should let them see it.
They,
No, really, because
I'm from a
You're a good guy, and they'll see that.
yeah, but unfortunately, I'm from a country. I know Afghanistan. It's
I
really
think that,
hard to
yeah.
get a visa for any other country. I used to work with the British. That's how I came into the UK. Like, they sponsored my visa. But when I came here, I saw a different life, and then I understood. Yeah, there are things that people are selfish, and they don't care if their neighbor is dying or something.
Well, you were
Because
saying it's like Elysium.
yeah, I said it was like the movie Elysium. I never imagined that it was a reality because we were the guys, like I imagined that we were the guys, or any other country that is, in that situation, in that poverty, in the war zone. These people are like the ones in the Elysium. Sorry, not the Elysium, but in the under. I think it's called Underworld.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, I totally believe, yes. And when I go on TikTok and I see these people eating whatever they eat in India, where they're scraping meat off chicken bones in a trash can and they sell it at the market. Do you
Yeah.
see that? And I'm like, it's true. What MJ was saying is true. It's like we should be incredibly thankful for being here. And
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Like people are earning less than $1 in my country there.
yeah,
Uh,
Mm.
I didn't notice that because I was a very hardworking guy, but when I came here, actually I lost a lot of money in cryptocurrencies. I got broke at one point, and then and then I felt these guys, oh, how bad poverty is. Like it sucks, and so that's when I started thinking about life. Actually, I got answered, my questions were answered a lot, like why people are suffering.
yeah.
Um, Actually, people are suffering like really bad in the world. There are two sides of humanity, one in prosperity, and the other side is like in a very deep suffering.
Yeah.
So that's why you said you're Jewish, right? Like,
I'm not religious.
okay, you're not religious.
And I don't, I mean, I eat bacon and which you'd probably be like, I don't eat. I,
The-
because you're
I
Muslim. I think you're Muslim, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm a very practicing Muslim. Like I really respect the religion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I respect everybody, but like if you, I don't want to promote Islam because a lot of people would call me like an Islamist. But the religion is beautiful. Like every religion is beautiful, uh,
Yeah.
because if you think a lot, like do you know what happened with George Cantor? He was a mathematician. Like this guy, actually, I think he discovered infinities, and I
Mm.
think that's what he did. Like he went, he thought a lot about life, and then he got mad. Actually, at the end, he couldn't. He couldn't find what is happening in here. Like, where are we? What the hell are we
Mm.
doing in here? And
Did
who?
he convert?
No, he got mad actually at the end.
Mm.
He totally lost it. Like
Mm.
his brain was malfunctioning, like
He
kind
should
of.
have fallen in love because love is the answer.
Yeah, his name is George Cantor. You can look him up. So when you see that side, like people, get into the realm of nothingness. What
Yeah.
is, and that's very depressing. Like, so you have to have a solace in life, and I found it like in believing in some higher power that has control over things.
Mm.
Because I try to not, sometimes I try to not believe, but life is not beautiful the way like believing in something all powerful, all knowing. But yeah, I had a lot of reasons to believe like in the existence of. Do you know? Maybe this would relate to you because you're very into science. Do you know the concept of singularity in the black hole?
You're pointing at me. I'm the,
I talk
Yeah.
too much.
hey, yeah, sure.
Singularity is like basically that point in time and space, like where the current laws of physics they crumble, they don't work there. Like so, like laws of gravity, laws of they actually crumble there in the point of singularity, which it means that it doesn't work anymore there. Like people don't know what is beyond that.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So I think, like maybe God is something above all these laws. So
Well, we were talking.
Yeah, we were talking about that before. It was just really interesting that you said that
yeah,
that this man lost his mind, and that you are, or that you believe that religion, for example, is a way, because it's a way of believing in something that helps you or prevents you from losing your mind. And I think there is some truth to it, because well, what religion does is religion gives you a concept of a higher power, and people believe in this concept, or they believe in a higher power outside of themselves. There also religions or even spiritual teachings that will say you are the higher power, like you are a fragment of the universe, you are a fragment of God, for example, so the higher power is within you. But I think no matter what it is that you believe or what you feel, because belief is a very, it's an engine for our life, our belief system. And as long as we do believe that there is a power, maybe it doesn't matter too much if the power is outside or inside of you. I mean, I think it does matter. Like, honestly, I believe it does matter, but I think it's already like a step saying that there is magic in this world and there are good things happening, and through my own belief, I can influence what is happening a lot. I think this understanding already definitely prevents you from losing your mind, because losing the mind kind of just means losing your identity.
Yeah,
And it's where people get psychotic breaks, because they understand that they are not their identity. And when the mind tries to take over and to explain everything, although it's super limited, and it understands, shit, I'm limited. And oh my God, I'm not my body and I'm not this identity. And then you get a psychosis. But
yeah,
if you believe that this is not the end, that these limitations that you're experiencing, that they are not all that is, and that there is an all that is you, or that is God, or that is, call it whatever you want, it's kind of, it becomes easy, because you understand that you are not identified with whatever you're experiencing right now or whatever struggle you are going through.
true. Yeah, that's beautiful, because all these prophets you see, like the philosophers, they always had contradictions with each other all the time. But these prophets, they were very consistent in their message. Like, if you go back to Adam, Noah, Abraham, the Jewish prophets, Moses, Jesus, peace be upon him, they always preached about one single God. So, like, they were very consistent, but compared to these philosophers, they always argued against one another. Yeah.
You cover your mic. Troy, we're
Sorry, say
talking
that.
about life, the universe, and everything. That's the subject. Very
Yeah, that's
narrow subject.
beautiful subject, but very deep as well. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, philosophers would argue about everything. I mean, I'm from Germany. German philosophers are hell, because they will even argue. They will just choose a word and they will argue about that for 500 pages, and all you get is depression from it. But or they leave you with this bad mood and a headache. But yeah, when you talk more, when you look at religious people, more spiritual people, even many philosophers as well, if you go to the Greek ones, for example, they will all talk about the essence of things, like what is the essence, where, as you said, this first questions, like who are we, where do we come from, what's the purpose? And then I think, yeah, it all comes down to we actually don't know, and what does it feel like? Because the analytical mind cannot really explain, although we try, and we try it with science right now, but it seems like science is also turning into religion. We had this talk with Gary like a week ago, where we said, okay, science also becomes very, very strict, political, very, yeah, religious kind of thing. That tries to take a concept and to say it is like that, but maybe it's more about feeling into things than trying to logically understand them all the time, at least.
I'm sending
yeah,
invites. If you want to jump in, hang out with us. We're talking about life, the universe, and everything. That's the subject. So, anyway,
Yeah, I just mentioned our talk about science, that it turns more into religion as well.
yes, it does. I think science is the new religion. I think cosmology is a sect. I really do. Really do.
what is very upsetting is that I'm a big believer in science, but I think logically there is no infinite regress. So we cannot explain things if we just go and always contradict it. So like logically, I think the infinite regression is not there. Like, you have to be at one single point where all this began. Um,
Mm.
So yeah, do
What if time doesn't exist? What if time is a human construct, and for the God, God is just a German word, but God in the deeper sense of the word, Allah. What if what if time doesn't exist from His perspective?
yeah, according to a lot of religious books, like God created time, so he is already outside.
See,
Yeah,
I think I think there might be something to that. Because what
yeah,
is time? If you
yeah.
think about what is time, it's just th-
I have good knowledge of the Islamic religious books. Like I can explain it through that. Like if
Oh,
you want
yeah.
to know, yeah.
Mhm.
So basically, God is eternal, infinite, eternal, outside human imagination. In fact, there was a guy who came to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He said that who created this, who created that, and then he continued. At the end, he came like, who created all of this? So then Prophet, peace be upon him, says that God created, and then he says, I know what you're thinking. Who, or what's gonna come next in your mind? The next question would be, who created God then?
is that in the Quran, or is that
No,
in the
this is
commentaries?
this is in the narrations of the prophet, like people
Mm.
so there is one primary source of
Mhm.
Islam, which is the Quran, the holy book, and the other primary source is after the Quran is the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. These are called hadith, like narrations,
Mm.
and they have a chain to it, like authentic chains of people who have said it. In fact, there is one guy who's alive right now who has memorized all these chains back to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself. Like
Well, I
he's
think
he's alive. Yeah.
it's wild, and I think that the Quran, you're supposed to memorize it. I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like the style of revelation for the Quran was when it was revealed, like it was being memorized verse by verse by the companions of the Prophet. Today, more than 10 million people have memorized the whole book. They're all alive.
Mhm.
I've memorized 40 chapters out of 114, even though
So
I'm not an Arab.
you all
Yeah.
could rewrite it if you needed to.
Yeah, yeah. So I made a video in early days on my TikTok. I said that the Quran is like the blockchain of human beings. So if you want to get rid of the Quran, you have to kill 10 million people.
And
So you can't.
we,
Yeah,
that
it's
will
like
not
a
happen.
blockchain. Yeah, it's like a blockchain connected to it. It verifies one another. If I mispronounce one single word, my wife would correct me, like say, "Oh, you recited that wrong."
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you married? You're married.
I'm married. I've got three little girls, very beautiful
Congratulations. I
girls.
don't know
Yeah.
if we talked about that before. Maybe I.
Yeah. Thanks.
Congrats.
So yeah, coming back to that part, which is very important. Like he says, like then you would ask me who created God. Then he says, when you reach that point, you just say that I believe in God, and he he's trying to tell that guy that you cannot think the unthinkable. So he says
Mm.
that the human brain has a limit. Like
Yeah.
you should put a pause on that thought because
Hmm.
you might get mad because your mind
Amen.
cannot think the unthinkable.
Amen, sir.
Yeah, so that was the response basically. So when I said, like, what happened with George Cantor, I think he was trying to comprehend
Yes.
infinity, like he was dealing with infinity, like so a lot of things like have a paradox in it, like the infinite hotel paradox. I'm sure you've heard of this. It's crazy, like it makes people crazy if you think about it. An infinite a hotel with infinite number of rooms, how would you calculate how many people entered that hotel and how many are leaving? So it's a paradox. I think that's the point where human brain has a limit. It can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not made for it. I think it's simply
Yeah.
not made for it. It's not made for grasping itself. It's made for experience. So that's very interesting because like the how I understand it, I've never heard the story you just told about this questioning of God. Like I've never heard the story, but I would explain it to myself like in a similar way. So I also think there is like a infinity, like something we cannot grasp, and there is, or I call it differently. Like for me, it's like a singularity. It's really difficult to think about it because the mind is not made for it. And we also have within it an experience layer of experience itself. And it's like everything that exists experience itself through the lens of each and every one of us, who can only see through, like, who can only experience himself or herself or itself, whatever. So, and you are not made for experiencing anything outside of yourself. And I think it's very important to relax into it, that you cannot experience more, that you can only focus on how your experience as you is supposed to be, like to be yourself as much as you can, to make it very simple. Because this is how you can represent all that is in the best way. Because you cannot, unless I cannot see through your eyes. It's impossible. I'm not made for that, and I cannot understand it. And if I try, I will lose my mind. Yes, because
Go
my
mad
mind
like George
is
Cantor.
yes.
Troy, feel free to join us because I see you talking in the chats. You could talk to us face to face. It'd be great. We just talk about life, the universe, and everything. There's really no
Jump
substance.
in.
It's ever anything you want to talk about, but just keep it mature. And I know you will. Anyway, if you feel like jumping up, I send you an invite.
Yeah. But this is very, very interesting because I don't know so much about that religion. Maybe I should start learning. But it's so interesting how the main ideas seem to be very similar, or the main big and philosophical ideas seem to match.
Yeah, it's the definition of God is very simple. Like it says that there's only one God. He does not beget. He's not begotten. There is nothing unlike to him. This is the simple definition of God in this religion.
Mhm.
And it says that you know the biggest things that this God is like all powerful. He can get very angry. Like he has a lot of attributes. He's angry with those who oppress people, and he's very merciful and very kind to those who do good. Yeah, so if you read the Quran, like 93% of them is about you know, love, compassion, treating your neighbor well, treating the orphans well, giving charity. Yeah, but a lot of harsh verses for those who do bad, who do oppression, like very harsh verses for those people. And
The situation in Israel and Palestine, man, that's. I was thinking, is there a solution to this? What do you think? Because and if this is too much, we don't have to talk about this. But I think you have unique perspective. You were from a country that experienced kind of imperialism, for lack of a better word.
yeah,
Okay.
it's very simple. Like so I can give you an example of my country. People were very civilized. Like if you go back, see you know, before 1940s Afghanistan, if you Google, like people were going to
Oh, I've seen.
universities, schools,
Yeah.
like you know, women.
Yeah, modern. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't ask Russians to come, you know, take our country. So Russians decided to just go and invade. I think that's human nature, trying to invade countries.
Yeah.
Which caused like big atrocities in our country, and 45 years of you know, civil wars, and then suddenly a guy from Arabia decides to go to Afghanistan and then
No, no worries at all.
create
Adorable.
a group. Yeah, create a group and you know, try to encourage people to do the holy war from there. So yeah, it's very. Oh, I'm sorry, my daughter is trying to.
No problem.
She's trying to eat something. She's hungry. Papa. Yes. You want to sit down here? Okay.
We can talk later, MJ.
Yeah. So
Papa, what's making a big sausage?
okay. You can talk. I'll mute for 1 minute and then I'll come back. Yeah.
Sure.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, but would be also we still didn't talk about the self-defense, the initial question that we started the conversation with. Be also interesting to know his take on that because yeah, I'm still not convinced of this idea.
Let's get Troy. Troy. Oh, he's in the lunchroom. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we got this guy in the comments. You're not. Anna's not convinced of the idea, but like he said, Russia goes in. Russia invades Afghanistan. I think if a country doesn't have a defense system, a strong one, they just stop being a country. Um,
Yeah. Would it be so bad? Like, I mean, I just like to play with ideas and scenarios. I'm not talking from a political perspective, but yeah, exactly. What if we open all borders if there are no countries? What's
well,
the
I
worst?
agree with you, and I know people get mad. Oh, you're a globalist, blah blah. I don't care.
I didn't
Okay.
even know there's a word for this
Yes,
idea.
it
Okay,
is.
sorry.
And it's a slur. It's a slur in the United States. They'll call you a globalist.
That's bad.
Um, I I think the world should operate much like how the United States has different states, and if you want to drive into a state, you just drive into the state. It's not that hard. You should just, we should try.
I mean, just treat me like I'm new here, okay? So I probably I lost my memory. I'm new in this experience. Why should I be a citizen of a country, or what is the concept of a country and what is it good for? Like I don't know. Like I just lost my memory. Sorry.
Okay, okay, I'll try and explain it to you as if you are an alien.
Okay, cool.
Okay, you just came. What? Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
A country is like I think what really defines a country is the currency. And and of course this is my own perspective. I could be wrong. You have a currency and then you've got some kind of system of defense, police force that defends that currency. The currency is directed force. Now I know this is a very definition that maybe a lot of people haven't heard before, but it's something that I think about quite a bit. What is a country? It's the money system, defended with a military police force. That is such a depressing definition. But
If I really lost my mind, would be the first thing how you explain me a country.
if you really
When-
lost it, okay, let me try again.
okay.
But I like what I said.
Okay, but then tell me why would I what should be the motivation for me to become citizen of a country then?
Because it has, okay, we can go even deeper. Country has control over resources. There's people there. We've got cool locations. Hey, have you been to Florida? Have you been to California? It's pretty nice. There's Disneyland. You can meet Mickey Mouse. Don't you want to meet Mickey? Well, Mickey's this talking mouse. And
Well, that's pretty convincing, Gary. I will think about that,
probably,
but I still don't understand. So I should become a citizen because of a big speaking mouse and because of a nice landscape, or are there also nice landscapes somewhere else? And what's the difference between America and Spain?
well, you're not going to get me to say, I mean, I kind of want to move to Spain too. Uh, and I don't know, like we should be able to go. Like if I want to move to Spain, move. Very easy. It's like if I want to move to Texas, I can move to Texas. Super easy. The whole world should be like that. The fact that it's not like that, it's a little weird.
I mean, you can ask in the comments like, yeah, uh, why or how would you explain a country? What is a country from your people's perspective? Because I think maybe someone has a nice answer, but I think mine would have been initially, I would have said culture. So the identification of an individual with the location through certain cultural aspects, art, habits, concept, like stories, like saying, okay, we Spanish people, we we have temper. I don't know, things like that, like stories, bullshit stories we tell ourselves, you know, like that it doesn't even make sense, or maybe it's not even true, but things that we would tell ourselves about the nation where we are born in. And yeah, so I would say that that makes a country. It's the feeling, more or less. And since people are emotional beings, I think this is what bounds them to the country, less than the currency. I think this would be technically what it is, but what bounds people to their nation, country, whatever, is story, is a feeling.
National identity. This is where we've been. This is where we're going. This is who we are.
And I'm just asking, do we need that? And I'm asking it from the perspective of someone who has no memory. So do we need that?
No, see, that's the spice of life.
Yeah.
If I go to Germany and they don't have Stein glasses, I'm going to be very disappointed. If I go to Germany and I don't eat sauerkraut on a sausage, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah. What if all of that was available in the US in the same way? Everything would be available everywhere equally. Would it be a worse experience? Similar? Do we really need that? Or is it just for us? And maybe if you think 2 generations further, people wouldn't care about that. It wouldn't bother them at all if they eat sauerkraut here or there.
I really think it should keep its unique identity. It's like if you go to certain states and like New Orleans, you're going to eat crayfish and you're going to have Mardi Gras. And I really think there should be this unique identity. I'm going to invite people. I invite people. So we're just talking about countries and cool places to live and stuff. And if you'd like to join, feel free to join. And I think somebody's been watching this entire time. Who is at the very top?
Us.
Pure beauty. Do I have to follow back? Okay, follow back. Yeah, I think it should keep it. Imagine a world where it's just like McDonald's. What It doesn't matter what country you go to. We're in Greece and it's just like McDonald's, Walmart. It's like that, man, how boring.
Yeah,
No.
it is. Yes. Okay, so means country, or a good definition for it would be diversity. So you have something local, you have a history, and you have things to identify with that bring you joy. So kind of, yeah, elements in history that you like or that you like to identify with, and specific spirit, food, art that is
I like
unique.
that.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. But couldn't it stay like that? You like the Roman Empire, right? So, look what they did. I mean, they invaded
course.
countries. Yes. So they invade countries, but they would leave them with their own culture. They wouldn't destroy it. So what if we would keep operating like that? So let's say, yes, we have different locations and let's leave the names on them and let's still call them countries, but there are no borders. It's just that you have this uniqueness everywhere, you have the diversity everywhere, and you try to keep the culture alive, you try to keep everything that, like the history alive, you tell the stories, whatever. But there is no border, there is no you don't limit people to go wherever they want to go. So it's just everything equally open. Would it work? Would that be possible?
I think so. Why wouldn't it? This idea that there's still war, it's insane. It's crazy. It really is. It's so crazy. it's like if somebody, I got to be careful. I'm starting to gotta be careful what you say on the internet. But it's just nuts that we still do this.
Mhm. Yeah, it doesn't sound logical at all.
No.
And I'm just wondering, okay, so if we like the diversity, I wish we should have I wish we should ask more people, but if that's what people like about countries, that they like to travel, they like to discover other countries, other beliefs, other religions, other cultures, other artists, whatever. So if they really like it, then what's the point in fighting it? Then the idea would be to sustain it, even if you are a different country, like helping to sustain the other one, probably.
I think he's back.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Hey.
So, yeah, we were talking about borders, right?
Yes.
The borders were like 340, something like 350 years old, the current system. So before that, I think there were no borders.
Are you talking? Oh, really? Yeah. It's
So
no
it's
borders anywhere in the world.
yeah. Our present system is like, it says that the present system is only 350 years old, product of
300. That doesn't
yeah.
seem right. Because, I mean, even going back 1,000 years, we had Greece and Athens and Sparta and right?
Yeah.
But I don't think there were borders like this, you know?
Oh,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think you
like
mean like
countries.
where you need a citizenship and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, citizenship. You have to have a passport for everywhere you want to go.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah, that's super strange. That's really that it's like making things complicated on purpose, and I'm just wondering why. We are just playing the game that I lost my memory because I even if I didn't, I don't understand it. But maybe it's easier to grasp or just say I don't remember. I don't understand at all. I just feel like it doesn't make any sense, any logical sense looking at it like from a fresh perspective.
Yeah. So, what do you believe in?
Which one of us?
You go ahead. Yeah.
You want to
What
go
do you?
first, Anna?
Yeah. What do you think? Where did all this come from?
Like Gary or me?
Gary.
Yeah.
Let's start with Gary.
Me? I'll
Yeah.
go. I'll go first. Sure. I put it all in my videos. It really is all there. I'm very materialist. I wouldn't label myself an atheist because I think there's something clearly miraculous about this universe. Uh, I don't know if you were here when I was talking about this, but we can't create anything. We can only rearrange energy matter. So how did this energy matter get here? That's miraculous. Like that is outside of human comprehension. And I think that it's always been here. That's the wild thing. Like you were saying, God, Allah, this force of the creator exists outside time. And I think this universe, the creation does too, in the sense that I think it's always been here. I think it will always be here. It's infinite, eternal. I think it's something like a fractal. I think if you zoom in, you'll find that atoms are just as complex as our scale of reality, and they would look a lot like a little galaxy. I really believe that. I know it sounds nuts, but I think it's something like a fractal. And forever.
Yeah. Let me simplify that. You mean like basically a part of an infinite being?
Being, sure. It is being. Being in the broadest sense of the word.
Beingness.
Being,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that is basically like what religion, especially Islam, says. Like, we are a part of, like, there's a verse in the Quran that says, God breathed his soul in human beings. Like, so humans are a part of God. Like, but they
Yes,
are
I
not.
agree with this.
Yeah, they're
I
not God. But
I just look at it from a very scientific way and like what are the algorithms behind it, and I try my best to figure them out. At the same time, I realize that I am just 5 pounds of goop in this skull, and and I'm just doing my best, and that the process of real creation is at a level of complexity that we'll never fully wrap our mind around. But we can understand the gist of it. and I try
Yeah.
and understand the gist of it.
Yeah, so we are a part of an infinite being, but we are
Yeah,
not divine. So we always existed in the mind of God, if that makes kind of sense to you, like
I think we might be. I don't know. Divine.
because
It's. I
God is
don't know. What do
divine,
you think?
right?
Are we divine?
God is divine, like an infinite, all-knowing being. We are a manifestation of God's idea because we always existed, and um, because
Anakin's all
energy
fun and
does not die, right? We are energy beings and we don't die. So we may try, what do you call that? You going from one place to another?
Reincarnation.
Not reincarnation, or travel like from to another realm, basically. So let me tell you that the ultimate pleasure that is explained in the in Islam, in the final. So according to Islam, Islam is the final religion. Like it is the completion of other religions. It does not deny Judaism. It does not deny Christianity. It says. Uh, in fact, let me just explain the
No,
way.
I know. I know.
Yeah,
I know. I've read about this stuff,
yeah.
and it's a beautiful culture, and the mosques are. There's some beautiful mosques out there. Really
Yes.
beautiful.
So the ultimate pleasure is like seeing God when somebody when somebody dies, he basically if he's a good person, if he goes to heaven, the ultimate pleasure is seeing his creator, like, and then like stepping in the doors of infinity. So yeah, that's the ultimate pleasure, knowing the answer to all of this.
Mm.
It is not the heaven itself. It's not, when people say like, oh, the virgins and the heaven. It's not about that. It is about seeing who created you and knowing the answer to all of this. I think that's very beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought, okay, but if you are, or if the idea is that human life is like an idea of God, and God is divinity, then his or its ideas should be divine. That's why this is a point that where I have a different take on. Like for me, everything is divine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the answer to that is basically there's a concept of like um, passing the ultimate test. So in order to be among the people or being a companion of that being which is divine, I think you had to pass a test, like basically. So this world is a test to achieve, like, the to pass the test. Like this is the concept of this religion. Like
Yeah.
you have to pass the test. You have to prove that you're worthy of meeting a divine being.
Exactly, and here it gets confusing for me because I think if you are part of all that is, if you're part of God, if you're part of divinity, you are divine. And from my understanding, it means that the only test there can be is in remembering it, because there cannot be a test in proving, because what would you prove as a divine being that is good, that is powerful? The only thing, the only task, I wouldn't even call it test. So I would say if there is a job to do, then it would be to be your divine self and to remember that you are connected. Because whenever you start proving, it would mean that you feel the disconnection, or that you feel disconnected, or what you cannot be, well, because you were made out of divine material. So you would, the moment you try to prove would be the moment that you deeply believe to be disconnected. And I think if there is a test, it must be the one of remembering that it is, that you are part of it. Because then you need to die, then you don't need to die. I mean, that it's like dying before you die, physically die, because if you first need to physically die to remember who you are and that you are part of this infinite beingness, you can probably just remember it earlier, so you don't need to.
Yeah, this universe has no center, and I've made a video about this. The center might as well be you. MJ. It might as well be Anna. It might as well be me. There is no center to it. It's the center from every specific perspective. Like we any one of us can be the main character of our own story if we take that godhood, that divinity. And these are just words. So one thing I like to say a lot is think deeper than semantics. These are words. They're making semantic arguments, but at a deeper level, it's about truly understanding that what isn't in here is really all there is. It really is on us at an individual level to live our optimum life. Like no one else can do it for us. It's on us, and we can write our story. And yeah, there's other people around, and yeah, you can really screw up, and people can throw you in jail and stuff. And if you really take this to the extreme, like I'm the only person, I'm just going to go and do whatever I want, and well, you might get thrown in jail because we're all our own beings. But fundamentally, we are the main characters of our own stories. And I think and I found that the more that one leans into that, the more that one leans into their own sovereignty, the more exciting life is, and the more enjoyable it is. And this is what I believe.
Yeah, sometimes it gets difficult though, like making decisions. How would you know that what is good and what is bad?
Right. Well, yeah. And this is where religion, in a broader sense, comes in, where it's like a social contract. It's an agreement amongst a lot of people. How should we live? And yeah.
Yeah, because you might end up, I might end up hurting someone without knowing, like, where does this moral compass come from? Like that, a lot of things that we understand is through language. That's how we communicate with one another. And language is the tool which is very special for humans.
Hmm.
And we don't know how this language, the origin of language, we don't know.
It is. We seem to have the most complex language, but then again, there's some birds out there that have very, I don't know, I think one day maybe we'll have some AI decode it and we'll find that I would suspect that there might be animals out there that have more complex language than us. Um,
Others.
Otters, they make little noises. There's some birds out there that are just wild with it, and they can even reproduce human speech. They can speak our words because their larynx or whatever they're using to communicate is just so advanced.
Whales, we have here elephants.
Well,
Hmm.
well,
Princess.
humans have a special like naming things. You know, they have this special thing which is naming new things. They come
Yeah,
up. Yeah. I don't know if any other animals have that characteristics, like naming new things.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Maybe, I don't know if my cat has a name for me. Who knows? But it would be fun.
Hello.
oh,
Hi.
hi. I just
Hi.
saw that you wanted to join. I've been sending invites out. How's it going?
I'm going good. How are you?
Good. I'm
Good.
trying.
Right.
Uh, should I follow you back? We'll see. We'll see if I follow you back.
So,
Crypo.
in the context of religion,
Hmm.
uh, a higher deity must exist. It is required, in some sense, for a higher deity to exist, to have created the universe that we live in. So, it's not impossible, you know? Atheism is kind of false in its own way. It makes itself false by denying the existence of a higher power,
Wait, what
right?
is? Did you say atheism?
Yeah,
Yes.
he said
Yeah,
atheism.
I mean, this is one of the reasons why I don't
But,
self-describe as an atheist,
you
even
know,
though a lot of people would think that I'm one. It's because there's something miraculous going on here. It might be a mathematical miracle or whatever, which is might be a miracle of logic, but there's something beyond human the fact that we can't create anything, that all we can do is rearrange, that is basically a miracle. What is a
Exactly.
miracle?
Everything is pre-made and already there, and we're just. It's like giving a kid a bunch of shapes and they change them, rearrange them in places, and imagine them to be something different. It's like giving a kid a bunch of squares and triangles and they make them into a boat. But
Yes,
you didn't make a boat, you made squares and triangles.
Yeah.
They
exactly.
made the boat. That's the kind of thing we have, the relationship we have from the creations of God, and our creations are just rearrangements of the materials that God gave us.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So a God must exist, but how do I know which one of all these religions that we have created as people is the true one? What tells me that? Who's gonna tell me? How do I know? Maybe they're all false. We do
Maybe.
not know. We cannot be sure, right?
Maybe they are all just stories that are pointing to a bigger truth.
Exactly. And if you look deeper through history, you can see that most of these religions are either inspired from one another or have changed through history and slowly changed one another. Intertwined, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
None of them are really that original. But even there, um, you can see that none of these religions can be true because most of these are based on concepts that we have made, like concept of love, concept of hate, concept of peace. We made those. Those didn't exist, and those don't exist in the minds of many animals, probably. You know.
Mhm.
I
And
want to
we
jump in.
base
Kai,
we
first.
base our religions around those concepts. How
Let
do
MJ
we
jump in.
know that the
Hey,
mind concepts that we made were already there?
KY, let MJ.
And this and this goes back to the concept of language, because everything that we understand is through language. That's why I
Exactly.
brought this, and it goes back to the cognitive education, like a precognitive. It's called priori cognitive information in human brain. Do you guys have any idea about this concept?
Yes, kinda.
So,
A little.
simply explaining this, priori cognitive information, it basically says like human beings are not born a blank slate. Like their brain has already the ability to understand things. So there are two types of knowledge, like priori knowledge and posteriori knowledge. Like posteriori knowledge is like we understand things through experience. When we grow up slowly and then we experiment stuff and then we understand them. But priori knowledge it's already there in the brain. Like
Hmm.
humans are selfish, they're scared.
Instincts.
Yeah, mathematics, they understand mathematics before they're
Sure.
born.
So do cats.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cats
yeah,
do
it's- yeah,
quadratic equation. They're doing calculus every time they jump up and catch a
yeah,
bird.
exactly. The flies. This is a very interesting thing. Like, where did this cognition come from? Like, in the human brain. Like, so this argument is, there is a religious argument around this. Like, says that God, especially in Islam, it says that God taught human beings the language. How, like, this cognition was taught to human beings before they were put into this realm. Because if not God, then according to science, it will take you to a paradox. By that I mean, where did it come from? Then it cannot come, from an animal. If it comes from an animal, which animal? And it goes back to that infinite regression. You can go back
See,
and back.
I
Yeah.
think it unravels. I do think it's an infinite regression.
You
See,
are
how
kind
is
of
that
correct.
possible? I think this is this is a fundamental miracle, for lack of a better word, that I do think this universe is an infinite regression. How is that possible? It breaks the human mind. I don't know. And so this is why, even though I think this infinite regression is entirely mathematical and logical and stuff, I would classify it as a miracle in kind of general, how it's general. It's magic. It's magic. And what other word do you use to describe the infinite? It's so
That
far
is
beyond.
kind of correct. Language, I think you have confused it a little. Language is a human construct. The concept of lettering, grammar, vocabulary, that's all human construct. The concept of communication in between living creatures has existed through animals and still exists. Like even the simple barking between two dogs, it might not directly translate to words in our language, but it still means something through the tone that it is happening, right? Louder barking might mean the dog is angrier or something like that, you know?
I really like
Mm,
It's
So
yeah.
the other dog that hears it knows
Yeah. It's
kinda what the dog
let Anna
is
talk. She hasn't
feeling,
talked.
not specifically saying something in words. Language is a human construct.
it's
Yeah.
one of it's one characteristics of
Anna's
human.
turn. Anna's turn.
Oh, sorry,
Thank-
sorry. Go ahead.
Thanks, so good. Yeah, no, I just wanted to point out a thing from MJ actually, because I really like the definition of language where you said it's naming things. I think it was you who said it, that okay, if we consider that all animals or all beings are communicating, I mean, we don't hear what plants are doing. Actually, there are even tools with which you can measure music and sounds that plants are creating, mushrooms are creating, so trees are creating. There are instruments for measuring it already. But anyways, I mean, we can hear animals, right? So, but we don't know if they actually name things. And this is something that humans definitely do. So we could probably
Other
separate there.
Yeah,
And
other thing is special with humans is the intellect itself, the ability to reason or think rationally. This is also priori knowledge, like it's not posteriori. So
well, it's not knowledge. Actually, it's trying to understand. It's, as we also
So
said in the beginning,
basically,
the
the
mind
thing
trying to
that
understand
MJ said with prior knowledge, communication in between living beings of your same species is part of that, right? We all have the need to communicate with others, even if we had to create the concept of language to be able to communicate, right?
yeah, what about reasoning though? Is there any scientific evidence that other animals reason like humans? Like, do they have
Sure.
the same level of intellect?
Crows will
In
pick
what
up a stick.
sense do you consider reasoning? In what definition?
Yeah, then I'm coming back to this point. Like we are we are reasoning right now about the existence of this whole thing. Any other animal talks about the origin of life the way we do, the way humans do.
B. Bailey, do you
We,
want to jump into
we
here?
do not
Send
know
me, send me invite.
exactly because
Oh,
we
Ollie.
can't
Yeah, Ollie.
translate what animals are talking about exactly because they don't use a specific language or words, right? They use other forms of communication, like the recognition of specific sounds or the tone of their voice,
Yeah, but you
or
don't.
even vibrations. You know, some animals do that. Some plants vibrate through their roots and communicate in that sense, right?
Yeah, but
Yes,
is
mushrooms.
that true that the humans are the most intelligent beings right now on this planet?
In
how
some
would
way,
we know?
maybe we are not sure, because the way we measure our own intelligence is far different from the intelligence that other animals have. So we, even because we are many different species, it is not logical to compare our intelligence with another species' intelligence.
It's a different one because I think our intelligence, what makes it probably unique as much as we know about the intelligence of other animals probably, is that we constantly we have this physical mind that constantly tries to understand itself. Means we as human beings are very identified with their physical mind, with their identity and with their self-concept. So the story that we are perpetuating the whole time, we are telling ourselves with our heritage, our belief systems, where we are coming from, what we look like, and so on. We see this as our identity. We identify with that. We think, okay, I'm Italian, I'm a man, I have mustache, whatever. So I think like that about myself. And this is becomes my persona. I'm not sure that animals are doing that. So it's really different kind of sort of intelligence from which I compare myself to my environment. Probably animals don't do that. So there is, when you go back to the 60s, 70s, I think, and people were, especially hippies, were using, a substance. Can I say LSD? Okay. So what it did was that it resolved the borders between your identity and your connection with everything. So people started to feel more connected to their environment, something that animals seem to have intrinsically because they don't fall too much for their own self-identifications, their self-concept. So means that people have this border, or humans have this border within their thinking. I wouldn't necessarily say it makes them more intelligent, but it is the way how our intelligence expresses itself through comparison, through trying to understand yourself by comparing yourself to the outer world. And animals, as it looks like right now, seem to be more connected intrinsically without the border of this physical mind or this ego. You can also call it an egotistical way of thinking. It's just this, maybe they have a survival, maybe they will eat you to survive, but they don't have this evolved egotistical way of thinking. And I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a measurement for intelligence. It's just another kind of intelligence, another way of perceiving your environment.
Is it unique though?
Maybe, yes. I mean, there is no I'd say evidence for animals experiencing this amount of ego that we do. I mean, surely personality, I can definitely tell that a dog that you're interacting with a lot, for example, that it has an own personality, that it's different from another dog, it has its character and so on, but it's not telling itself it's an Italian dog with a mustache, a certain gender and a family and that bloodline, blah, 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 and politics and so on. So
Putting a
it's,
little outfit, putting on a little Italian outfit, putting on some dog
yes,
makeup, and
yes, it doesn't have
So,
a persona in that sense.
in that sense, the concept of a consciousness within the soul of a being, that must have been created through a higher power. Like a god must have created the soul, the consciousness that we have as people, because the need to communicate means we are somehow connected from the moment that we start being alive. In some sense, the souls of the people, the consciousness, are connected through an invisible hive mind of some sort, right?
Yeah, to each other also, to everything.
Because that's what some religions say. We are all brothers, we are all one. We're not, they don't mean blood related or one as objects or whatever. They mean that we all have the need to communicate to others, to socialize with others, to be with people, right? Being alone for a
connections.
while
I really
many
think
times
human
has
connections.
driven people to
Yes,
craziness.
yes, and they've done experiments with monkeys. Take the baby monkey away, and the baby. I don't
No,
advocate for
they've
that,
done
but I
it
know
with
they've done it.
people too. It is said that a person in isolation for over 52 hours might cause permanent brain damage.
Sure. That's why solitary confinement's the worst punishment there is.
Yeah.
Yes, people do need to connect with others, meaning
Yes.
our spirits, our souls are in some way connected. That's exactly what I said before. It's kind of like a conscious hive mind, and every hive mind needs its queen.
Hmm.
That's what we need, our higher power, a god,
Yes.
a
Yes.
creator,
Absolutely right.
a being
It
that
does need.
made said hive mind.
Yes. And love is the answer. When I found Anna, Anna and I are engaged. I was drinking too much. I was a mess, and then I realized that once you have, we're like half of a circle, and we're broken, and we need to close that loop like a circuit. We need to close that loop, and if you don't close it with another human being, you're gonna have to close it. You have to. You're gonna
Yeah.
close it with alcohol or drugs. You're gonna find or porn. You're gonna find a way to close that loop. And the most natural way to do it is to close it with another person. That's how to do it.
That is true.
Yep. You got to find your queen. You have to find your queen.
Now,
Anna
when I
is
said queen, I
Russian?
didn't specifically mean a relationship. I meant like the queen of the bees or the queen of the ants, a being, a higher power that controls the rest of the hive mind. Exactly. That's what we need, a god
I
above
worship
us,
this person right here. Want
worshipping,
me
you
to have a
know?
tip if you want.
Yeah, I don't believe in this worshipping thing, to be honest, because as I think,
Not
or
specifically worshipping, but more like having someone to control our actions. Leaving a person to do anything they want causes problems, and we have seen that many times, right?
you mean a moral construct again? That makes
Exactly, the
more
moral
sense.
construct. We as people having consciousness need rules because we have the ability to recognize the good and bad, which also varies from person to person. Someone might consider something good and someone else sees it as bad, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, because things are meaningless until we give them meaning. So good and bad, I mean, this is really that depends on perspective. We had this talk with Gary, and we said that should people eat an animal for Christmas, it's a good day for the people, it's a bad day for the animal. So what's good, what's
Right.
bad?
That
And
is
that
true.
in that point, but
So the fact that we need rules as people uh, means we need someone to give us the rules,
I
and
don't
having
necessarily.
just any other ordinary person give us said rules isn't any better, because as everyone has their own perspective,
True.
just taking a specific person's perspective and spreading it towards everyone doesn't mean that person's perspective is correct.
Right. Well, I think
That's
the
why we
modern.
need a higher power, said gods or creators, to give us such rules. But if religion is a human construct, that still makes the rules of religions made by humans, meaning
yes,
we don't know if they're correct or not, right?
exactly. We are living by we are based on values of other people.
Exactly. So if we don't specifically have a communication with the higher power that must exist, we don't have the said rules that we need to follow, right?
You have a religion?
I was born in a Christian family, but I many times question my own religion. I like using critical thinking and logic to see if what I am taught is true. I am Christian, but I do question my religion many times.
See, I think that the West is an Athenian nation. Like when people say the West is a Christian, America's a Christian nation. I disagree. I think that we live in as in Athena. I think Athena is the patron goddess of the West, and I'll tell you why. If you look at our
I
system of
am not American, by the way.
what?
I am not American, by the
I
way.
know, but the Western world, where are you from?
I am from Cyprus,
Cool.
very far away. We are basically Greek.
Yeah, you're not far away. I'm in Germany, so not that far.
Well, then this applies to you as well. Democracy. Are you a democratic nation?
Yes, we are Democrats.
Democracy, that's from Desmos, which is from Athens, academics, athletics, theater.
Yup.
In the United States, this pillared architecture that we have at the White House and the government buildings, that is all Greek. And specifically, it's from Athens. Athens was named after Athena. I think Athena is the patron goddess of the West. We are an Athenian.
Interesting.
The West is Athenian. That's what I think.
Yes, but Athena as a goddess, as a divine being, is said to be the goddess of knowledge, of wisdom, which
Yes.
are both kind of human constructs, aren't they?
Sure. It's
So-
all he wants.
The Greek gods themselves, the Greek pantheon, is all just taking something that already exists and making your own higher power just to explain it when you cannot explain it on your own. Right? Just they couldn't explain how thunder happens,
Thunder.
so they said, "Oh, it's Zeus. He's just throwing
Yeah.
thunder on its own." Right?
Sure.
But
Yeah.
now we
better
can explain it.
explanation.
It's electrons jumping through the clouds, right? That's how it goes. We can explain it on our own, so now we can say, no, it's not Zeus. It's a natural phenomenon. Right?
Right.
Yeah, sure,
We
sure.
disproved that religion a while ago. Many, many years ago.
I don't
You
know.
know?
Maybe Athena's with us right now.
We disproved the Greek pantheon many
Maybe we are in the-
centuries ago.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's all just belief and it's all just human construct because we all just try to understand. At the end of the day, all we are talking about is getting closer to truth, but never really figuring it out. Therefore, I really think the main, or probably one of the most interesting points is the one about moral and ethics, because I mean, even the need for morals and ethics is also a human construct. It's also our need for this construct because we think we cannot intrinsically make the right decision, whatever it's supposed to be. And we live based on the values of other people who created religions or who created politics or just the systems we are living in. Therefore, again, the question is if we are divine beings made of the same material as the divine beingness, the universe itself, wouldn't it be just a logical consequence that we would intrinsically know what is right or wrong if we would just celebrate or connect more deeply with ourselves? And the proof for this could be, or an indicate could be, that I've never seen an aggressive monk, a person who is like in his meditation, reconnecting with the universe or with his God or whatever, being in this meditation, prayer, connection state of being aggressive and harming other people. Why? Because maybe in these kind of states, with these practices, we are remembering connection and we don't need too many constructs. We do make right decisions by not harming other people and by increasing our ability for love and compassion, which should be probably, from my understanding, the basis for action. Because if we act based on love and compassion, which we increase through certain practices, then we don't need too many rules. They are like obsolete. It will be just clear that we don't just punch someone in the face.
I'll take it even one further. Anna, earlier you were talking about how animals seem to have this pure connection to the universe and we put our ego in the way. When people talk about how human beings need rules from somebody else, I look at a wolf pack and I'm like, that's a pretty well organized little society they've got there. Canine society, but they get it done. Like they love their kids, they stick together, they share food. So do chimps, and chimps have a
That's
proclivity
exactly
for.
what I said about consciousness not being a human construct. That consciousness itself needs to have been created by a higher power, because we're not the only ones that have it. If it was a human construct, why are other beings conscious, right?
Hmm.
That's exactly what I said. Now, back to Anna said something about the higher power being of the same material. You said something about material. That's what I want to focus on. It is said in almost every religion that the higher power must be uh, supernatural, meaning outside the natural world, outside said universe, right? It doesn't have to be made of a material. That's why it's
Yeah.
omnipotent and it's everywhere, it knows everything, it sees everything. We understand it when we say it's everywhere, we think of it as a material and it's basically everywhere. But it is not a material and it is everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Really
When we
bizarre.
say it sees everything and knows everything, we think of it as having eyes or having a mind, which it has neither of those, right? It is
Yeah, probably.
our human mind, exactly because it is human, it cannot fathom or understand the higher power or how it works, right?
It's not abstract enough. Yes. What I meant by that is more that when I talk about this divinity, I mean all that is. But since we are part of all that is, we are made of the same fabric somehow. But all that is includes us. So
Yes,
this
but
means it is not texture in a way like it's this, it feels the same or it's the same fabric. It would be really outside of it, but we are part of it. We are one part of it, one aspect of it, one
yeah,
interpretation.
but in some sense, we are able to separate the material matter from the soul, the mind, the thoughts, right? That's what I said before with the soul and the consciousness, and that's what the higher power must be, a soul, a consciousness, separate from this universe, outside of it. A soul or a consciousness without a material body, just existing,
I wouldn't
right?
say outside of it because outside means that space is real. Or like it's and from my understandings, like space and time would be concepts as well. So I think it's not outside of it. I think it is it. I think it's
It is
difficult to
part of
grasp
it.
it. Hmm?
It is part of it, outside, inside, and everywhere.
Yes, it is everywhere, everything all at once somehow. Yeah. So it's like we are.
That's the whole point of it. It is
Yeah.
a single consciousness that is able to control, create, manifest, destroy matter. You know?
It is above the laws. That's what it means.
Exactly. It is above the laws of physics because it created said laws and the limits of existence.
Yeah, this reminds me of, Einstein once said that what amazes him was how intelligible the universe is. Like, the intelligibility of the universe was amazing to him. Like,
Commented this on my feed.
yeah, who made this intelligible? The whole
Exactly.
universe. Yeah.
The universe as a whole is not a being, it's not alive. So it cannot have its own consciousness, but the higher power that created said universe is a consciousness. That's what Sir Einstein meant.
Maybe.
Yeah, but maybe not the physical universe. Again, that's again very conceptual. Well, we cannot do anything else but trying to visualize it or to put a concept above it because we are trying to literally
Exactly.
understand ourselves.
That's what everyone is doing wrong. You're trying to visualize it because what we see is what our biological eyes allow us to see.
Yeah.
You don't you all
True.
have the need to see, said God. You will have the need to see what is happening around you, but that is not how it works. If the consciousness of said higher power does not have a material body, you cannot see it.
Yes, you can just feel it probably. Or
Exactly. That's why you feel the need to have a higher power. You can feel it.
Yes, and also, Gary, you mentioned about love and compassion. You cannot have a solution with love and compassion all the time. I'll give you an example. So if you become so much tolerable, towards human beings, one day, people say love is love. We have the right to love anybody, anyone, anything we want. What if somebody comes one day and says, "Oh, I love your
I understand where
child"?
you're going with it. Be careful with the word. Just be careful with the word. I understand what you're saying.
yeah, I can answer that because love and compassion, I mean, it means on a deep level. I'm not talking about a physical level.
Okay.
And I think when one definition of love that I love a lot is taking another as part of yourself, taking your environment as part of yourself. Sorry, means
Love itself is a human construct. It's an emotion. We got something, found it similar in the minds of many people and named it. That's what we're doing wrong with emotions too, because everyone feels differently and we're just finding similar points and naming them, right?
I would make a difference here because I think there is emotional love. This is one feeling, but there is also love. What I feel is a translation of the energy of connection. So one interpretation of love for me is taking someone else as part of yourself. Another interpretation, but it's just other words for the same thing, would be recognizing connection, that we are all connected. It means recognizing your connection to all that is. This is love, and it can translate itself into the emotion, into the emotional experience of love. So loving your family or loving whoever.
Yeah. So love itself is basically, as we are already feeling the connection within everything around us, you're basically restricting it to feeling the connection to specific individuals.
Why?
Because, right, you love someone more than someone else. You love someone more because they're blood related to you, or because you created a family with them, which is in itself a concept,
That's
right?
attachment. I would say that this is attachment, and that this is another kind of emotion. Yet there are people who remind you of your connection to everything more than others, because probably they are more similar to you or for whatever reason. But there are people who remind you to your connection to everything, who remind you of the love that you carry within yourself. And therefore you think that you love them more. But I think this is just the experience of love, and we experience love in different ways, but love itself is always there. And I think that we will never harm another person. Also, when MJ mentioned the thing with the kids, for example, we will not harm other individuals if we deeply realize how we are all, as you say, brothers and sisters, and how we are all connected and experiencing life together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
but not everybody is like you. Like that.
I know. And
Yeah.
it's sad. We are one human family, and it's sad. And
So there should be a universal law, like
there
you
should
know.
be. And what's, yeah.
I think there is, and I think the way of realizing is coming back to this understanding of connection. It can be through religion. I believe more of my approach would be meditation. So I don't try to come from this conceptual thinking. I have the feeling that it divides me more, but for me, it's more meditation and going within and feeling my connection to everything. So I'm remembering my connection. I'm filling myself up with love again. And I think this is a rule. I mean, in religions, this would be prayer. It doesn't mean asking for things constantly. It just means connecting yourself.
Let me preface what I was saying. One universal law, I think you said. I'm really into this Athenian idea. I like this democracy. I like this idea of you can go to different places and maybe there's different laws there. Like if you don't like the law in this state, you can go to a different state where there's a different law. And I think if one law is enforced across the whole planet, I think it kind of becomes susceptible to corruption, maybe. It's good to have choice, freedom. I'm a very big freedom person, but
Yeah,
anyway.
that's true because everyone has different experiences. So we all have different rules. Like in one country, there are rules. Maybe they have different traditions, and said traditions have their own rules, right?
Mhm.
Is there a
There's
Yeah.
countries that actually have laws behind their traditions and how you're gonna do them,
yeah,
right?
is there a best one, like, or for instance, you earlier mentioned, like, so how I see the religions. I actually I studied a lot of different religions. I grew up in different countries: India, Tajikistan, Afghanistan. So India is like the most religious country in terms of
Really?
religious diversity. Yeah, like,
Oh, diversity. I think it's part of their religion too that it's like
yeah,
diverse.
yeah, people are worshiping like a lot of things, like, including
Monkeys. I think
including
so.
even
I
human
like
beings
them too.
themselves. Yeah,
Cows.
yeah. So when
Yeah.
you go to India, you would see, like, wow, that's a lot of religion there. Even in Hinduism, there are more than 300, I think, million gods. So they see God in everything. So then you understand. Okay, if the I saw it this way. Like, I studied different religions, and I said, okay, if God is there, like, if He's the best, then His way must be the best way. So, if you see back, if you go back to these three Abrahamic religions, uh,
Mm.
Christian, Judaism, and Islam, they are very beautiful. Like, if you see the primary teachings are beautiful,
Hold on,
worshiping
let me
God.
pause you
Yeah.
for a second. Anna, do you remember what I said that one day when we were laying that? Remember we were hanging out. Do you remember what I said? And
I
you said something about cheese or something. It's like I was like, what do you? I was like, what are you thinking about? I think you're thinking about dinner. And then you were like, Gary, what are you thinking about? And I was like, about how well the three Abrahamic religions are optimized for survival from a geopolitical perspective. So, it was
That's
like,
what guys think
how,
about. Yes,
yeah.
true.
Is
Anyway,
this still a serious conversation? I
never.
think we've gone out of topic, have we?
No, but it's I love this Abrahamic
Yeah,
religion. Anyway,
yeah. Cyprus is a serious guy. Go ahead.
Abrahamic religions. Sorry, MJ.
No, it's
Interrupt.
fine. Yeah, no, it's really good to have a laugh. Yeah, I really enjoy, conversations. Of course, it is serious, but the humor in it, we're all humans. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, these are the three Abrahamic religions. I think they're very beautiful. When I was studying them, like, I grew up a Muslim, and I really respect all the religions. But if there is a God, like, His way must be the best way. So it goes back to the question of, Cyprus, which one is the truth? So
Exactly.
it depends on. Like, if I found it like this way, like, um, if there is a God, his way is the best, and it's the most compatible way to a human. Because I've got a experience in digital marketing, like, I've been studying human behavior on the internet for a long time now, 8 years. We all have, like, human beings on the internet. They are basically leaving their emotions, their behavior on the internet. That's how we do, remarketing, retargeting stuff like based on human desires. Then we sell them something on the internet.
Yeah.
I've seen this. I've seen this on a large scale about human desires. Um, they try to find the best things in everything. Like if they search something, their search behavior is like, I want the best shoes, I want the best clothes, and it's all the evidence is all on the data servers of these huge companies like Amazon, Facebook, Google, and it's there. You can literally go and see that data. So
Yeah.
collectively, human beings want the best things. So based on this, I said, "Oh wow, like if there is a God, then His way must be the best way."
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think using this notion, you may do some researches about the religions and choose the one which works the best for you. I think.
Now, about the Abrahamic religions,
Yep.
after much research through many religions, those three do seem to be the most correct in some way. Using my own critical thinking, even though no one can say if I am correct. There's a big chance I might be wrong on my own. But
like,
after using my own logic and critical thinking, these three do seem to be on a much higher level of truth
Taoism is
than
pretty good.
others, but they're
That's
still not fully correct. And that's exactly why they're divided into three different ones, because they have their own differences, and many things in all three of them don't make much sense, right?
Like
gonna-
what, for example?
I'm gonna give a 10-minute warning. We've been going 3 hours.
Wow.
God damn, that's a lot of time of talking.
It's been fun.
So, a lot of things, like within reading the holy books, I found that I've realized that even the Bible itself of my religion that I've read many times, it seems to be written in a way that, let's say, the age that it was written in, it was written in a way that those people would understand it. Like, back then, everyone understood things in a more theoretical sense, right? They used examples and
Yes.
metaphorical
Parables.
wording to understand
Yep.
things. Today, we use logic and science and more pure knowledge instead of metaphorical, right? So the reason people take their religions the wrong way and understand things the wrong way is because we take the logical understanding and metaphorical things and kind of mix them up. So
Yeah.
if you start thinking metaphorically, you'll understand what those religions are talking about,
Jesus taught in
and you will
parables.
see that they are indeed correct in some way.
Yeah, it's semantics.
Yeah, pretty much often it's semantics and it's things meaning the same thing again, but describing it in a different way. And I would even go that far saying that even science itself, well, I wouldn't call it religion, but it's a concept again. So I wouldn't even call it real knowledge because again, we are just observing something. And
Exactly.
but we approach it in a logical way this time, so not in a mysterious way somehow. So we approach it logically, but it's still a concept.
That's what I'm talking about. We're seeing things in a more logical way, and when something was written in a metaphorical sense, if you take it literally, you mix up the meaning and understand it wrong, right?
Yes.
And that's how many people understood their own religions and took them wrong, right? And I've realized that many parts of our religions never even happened. Many parts of my own religion probably never even happened.
Yeah.
There's
Fault.
exactly,
I
and
think the
they're
Great Flood
written in
happened, by the way.
books in some way to, in a more metaphorical sense, for you to translate it in your own mind and understand it in your own way.
Sure. I think some of it may be more accurate than we think. The Great Flood, for example, during the time that these stories were being told about the Great Flood, it was the end of an ice age. Ice melt, raise the sea levels. Where do humans build settlements? Around the ocean, because that's where the fish are. Rising sea levels, global flood. I think that's true.
Yeah.
That might be.
You can
Now,
see the salt. If you
I'm
go look
not
at the Sahara
saying
Desert.
it. I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm
Yeah.
not saying it is either. We don't have exact proof. Like
Listen, check it
that's
out.
just a theory.
No, check it out. Check it out. Go look at Google Maps. Go look around the Mediterranean. You can see where the overflow from the Mediterranean cut into the sand, going into the Sahara. Then you can see where there's low spots, where there's salt flats, where the ocean then evaporated in the Sahara and left the salt behind. It's clear as day. I don't know why more academics, like literally none, no academics, they don't explore this. I don't know why. Global flood myths being told all around 10,000 years ago. That's when the ice age ended. That's when the sea levels rose. It all fits together.
Yeah.
Now, I'm talking about more later on within the story of the religion. Even the existence of Jesus himself as a human being could have been theoretical.
Maybe
Like,
Rome invented it.
we
Maybe
don't
Rome
have proof
invented
that
it. I don't
he existed as a material being,
know.
because as he is considered part of God,
We're all
there's a
gods. Jesus would say that
it's
himself.
more of a symbol and symbolizes the connection of the God as a soul, as a conscious mind, with the material world, right? And with the human mind. It's more of a symbol than it has ever been a real human person, right?
I think he was probably real.
Yes,
But
but it is the way it is described. If we take it in the metaphorical sense, in the metaphorical way that everyone understood things back then, it does seem that even Jesus himself seems to be a symbol that symbolizes the connection of God and the material world, and
sure.
God and the human mind. The Holy Spirit symbolizes the connection of God and every single soul, including humans and any other animal. It also symbolizes the connection of the mind and our own consciousness and logical thinking with how it was created, uh, connecting it to God. And of course, the Father symbolizes God Himself as a conscious soul, right?
Fascinating book.
It has never been stated that they specifically existed as material beings like we are. If they are technically higher powers, they are more theoretical. Theoretical does not mean non-existent.
We got 4 minutes left. Should we go around and let everyone say something?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for bringing me, and it was a wonderful conversation. Do you guys always have these conversations? If yes, what time?
We can plan. It was the first one. Before we would have Zoom calls, but it was the first TikTok live. We can plan that and do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, I've got a lot of viewers, but next time I'm gonna make my profile public.
Cool.
Hopefully by then I would get my visa.
Good.
Yeah. Would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, we can definitely repeat it. Gary and I thought about doing it once a week. What did we say? Saturdays or Sundays? I don't remember what we said.
That's a
said
good
Sunday.
idea. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to be here, but it is a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wonderful. You learn a lot of stuff.
I will follow
Yeah,
you back,
I'm-
Carlos.
I'm just
I'll
gonna
come around
say
to that.
thank you that for I learned a lot of things today. I've seen my own world from different perspectives, and I think that has helped me understand religion in itself a lot.
Beautiful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you too.
Thank you very
so
much.
I love talking to you guys. It's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Just one more thing. Before going, I think there is this thing in human. I forgot the name, but it is located. It's a nerve. I think it's a nerve that is located near the ears of the human being. I forgot the name, but it's the responsible for human balance. Okay, I forgot the
Yes.
name, but you can Google it. It is amazing. So there was one guy who's a genius. He was saying, learn stuff from one who has knowledge about it, or else you will be imbalanced. Because that is the reason that nerve is placed in near to your ear, is because if you hear something which is from someone who doesn't have knowledge about that, then you
Interesting.
might get imbalanced in life.
Interesting. Well, it's
So
a
Very
good metaphor, if
interesting indeed.
anything.
yeah, so I would, if I come next time, the things that I have knowledge about is I have a really good knowledge of Islam as a religion because
Yeah.
I've grown up. Yeah,
I appreciate you, MJ. I really
yeah, I
do.
can speak about that and also about digital marketing and all this stuff. I
Yes.
can talk. Yeah,
This would be really interesting too. Do you guys have Discord, by the way?
and I have a Discord, but yeah, I don't have a server like a special group. A
Yeah.
personal Discord.
I used to have a Discord. I kinda lost connection to my
Doesn't have a
account.
profile. You should have a link in your profile.
Yes, I have a link in my profile, but I need to update it. I will update it within the next 5 minutes. There is a link tree with a link to a Discord server, and this is a Fun Philosophy Discord server, and you guys can just join and also drop some interesting topics and exchange with some people who are also interested in talking like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I got a genius friend. He would love to be there. I would love to be there.
Cool. I will
I would
update the
love
link.
to join.
That would be awesome. I will update the link within 5 minutes after our conversation, and then it will be available on my profile.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. It's 11 p.m. here for me in UK.
It's 1 a.m. here. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, well, funny.
I'll
Yeah,
talk to you
take
guys
care,
later.
guys.
Thank you guys. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Anna,
Thank
thank
you very
you.
much. Good
Bye.
night.
Bye, Gary.
Night. Bye.
Take care.